That would be exciting.
Yeah. No, that's very possible too.
I don't
Like,
disagree with you,
Going
but
back to work. Vacation over.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. I would love to see that. That would be insane. It would be insane. We would just moon like you've never seen. But
Exactly.
there is something to be said about.
but in reality, I don't think he's doing that.
What?
Like,
Because
like
he
no
doesn't have enough
expectations, right?
time. Like, what's he doing all day long, right? Like, how long does it take
Doesn't
to
matter.
manage the OA account, right? Like, it's not. The man's got time. He's not that old. Like he's.
I'm
quite a
sure
bit
he's
younger
doing
than I am.
lots of
He can show
useful
up to
stuff,
work
right?
for
Like-
another 5 years and pump.
Oh,
his
he'll be
stuff.
busy. He'll be busy. He'll be
Yeah, I'm
busy
sure he's
in the
busy right
background.
now. It's like just because he's not streaming and marketing doesn't mean he's not busy, right? Maybe
you're right.
maybe now he's even more busy. Maybe now he's doing stuff that's even more important than just fucking streaming to us.
I
right?
think
Like,
marketing is the best use of his time. The man did well on the screen. He brought in a lot of followers. He can bring in
Yeah.
a lot more followers, and
Yeah.
he can reassure the people that believed in him. And the best way he can do that is with screen presence. That is the tool. Not certainly like Twitter and the other social media things.
Yeah, yeah.
That he could hit harder. Like even if he was just on Twitter, but he was on Twitter every day, all day. But like of everybody, of all the influencers on the Pulse chain, he's the guy that that one day will get a meeting with the president, right? He's the guy
Yeah.
that's going to get on the big shows, that's going to get on CNN. So that's why I want to see him back to work. I want to see him on CNN. I want to see him shaking hands with Elon Musk. Like, let's go.
man, actually, like what Chris was saying.
Show me
before,
what's up,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah, what's up, Somi? Like
You're welcome to
like,
join, man.
Yeah, exactly. Please come, Somi. Come discuss with us. I mean, it's like what Chris was saying. Like you might go to like Rogan, something like that, right? I think that's possible, right?
What if the
But
first time we
if
see him
if
back
he
is like
shows
Rogan?
up, it's gonna be something that it needs to be truly epic, right? It needs to be something really
Yeah.
big. I don't think he's just
Breaking
gonna stream
news.
from his living room, like from
The
his
court case would
castle,
be an
right? I don't
epic
think that's
spot, I
gonna
suppose.
happen again. That's my point.
Yeah. No, but it's an interesting thing. It's an interesting thing. Yeah. But I'm ready for it. He doesn't come back and he speaks to us through the blockchain with green candles. I think epic green candles just printing up into the right is going to
Exactly.
speak volumes for what's happening. Did he say anything? I got more PDI update content coming later. PDI discussion will be viral for speculation. Gets to 10 cents. Luna hit 7 cents. Why not? Fair enough.
Let me risk something. I think if like imagine if he streams, it might be at the top, right? That might be the top actually. In my perspective,
That's interesting. Very interesting point.
that might
would
be the top
It
actually.
could be a top. It doesn't necessarily mean
No, yeah, exactly. It could be a top. Yeah, sure. Like
Some people
100%.
are going to sell the news, like with the PDI vote thing. Like, yeah, there some people sold the news on that too.
Sure.
But then it carried on, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so much
a top.
carried on.
Yeah,
That guy
you're
doesn't
correct.
sleep.
A top.
Kept talking about it, and we're still talking about it. I'm building a stablecoin protocol on top of it. Like, people do carry on, but some people will sell the news, and it's every step. Somebody's always selling the news, right? That's part of the game.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's see what happens, man. This is going to be interesting. I'm not biased either way. I'm ready for either thing. I think either way, he's extraordinarily genius marketer, and
Exactly.
he's going to figure out how to do it. If he comes back, if he doesn't, but
I trust his process, man. That's exactly
I trust his
exactly
process.
that. Like whatever
Yeah.
he does, I trust his process, right?
whatever he does.
I am super biased.
We all are, bro.
We can tell. We can tell.
If that's not your plan, Richard, then give me a call. We'll talk about it. We'll work it out. That's now your plan. Okay? Back to work. Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm sure he's at work, man. That's I'm sure. But I understand what you mean. When you mean work, it's like marketing stuff. I get it.
Yeah.
But look. I have a different opinion. It's like, man, I always talk about this. It's like the fucking carrot, right, in front of the horses. It's like, imagine if he delays, he delays his appearance, and if it's something like real big, like Rogan, or like something that's pretty big, I think the effect could be like huge, like massive. Or like because I mean he has done the live stream every day, right? So I think something different, like like just one day, one date, you see one event. I think I don't know.
A little will go a long way potentially if done correct. And like there is a magic to making yourself not too available and therefore being more valuable. So I'm sure Richard is well aware of that.
Somebody's
So
knocking
maybe
on the
once
door.
more. Who is it? Oh, it's Richard.
coming?
Oh, great. Let him in.
Somi,
Thanks.
what's happening, man? Hang on, I'm gonna get you. Almost there. Hello, hello,
There we go.
Mr. Somi, sir.
Can you boys hear me? Wow.
can hear you loud
we
and
can
clear.
hear and see you, man. On the other side
Chat.
of the
I'll
world.
just click on a link here. That's awesome. Sorry, guys, if you're at home, you're going to have to deal with me clicking around.
Chat, make some noise for the busiest man in cryptocurrency right now.
Exactly.
Indeed. Or
Smash
computer,
those like
perhaps. I
buttons.
think he's the AI.
I've got to learn how to use this streaming stuff because I've just,
Well, let's see
yeah,
if
I had to
can-
disable my other thing.
Yeah, let me see if I can fix it here. It's like,
What do you think, Somi?
Awesome.
Is Richard coming
oh,
back or what?
There we go. Where you at?
Can I ask? Yeah, I'll answer. Can you, sorry, so, you know my little, we're little squares. Did you
Yeah.
make it
Yeah.
bigger on the thing? That's cool.
That's fair. Yeah.
Wow.
I can't
that's
seem to
awesome.
orient you. You're like cut off, and I think it's on your end right now. Something. So
No, it's because I've zoomed in.
oh, there you go.
Ah, there we
There
go.
you go.
Ah,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
the
I just
board.
don't like-
There's the
yeah.
board. There
And
we
you can
go.
share screen if you want to share screen too. This is our deck right now. You're in the private lounge out back in our cyberpunk.
You guys can have a. That'd be funny. My first time on stream, I'm just zooming in my nostrils. Yeah.
We're up close and personal.
Sorry, friends. Yeah, you're hanging out. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Sorry,
hanging out on
gentle
the
sir.
deck.
Was it
Grab
asked-
a drink.
you
Oh, you got to
asked,
take your pants off. You got to
it-
take your pants off. That's the
Exactly.
rule.
Sorry, sir. You asked about Richard Hart
Yes.
joining.
Is he going to Satoshi for a little while, and for so how long, or the court case dropped and he's just going to come right back? What do you think?
You know, what would you do, man? You have. If he comes back, I feel like he would only declare victory. You know, because like, but here's the thing. He does some. You would call him weird, but it's just his personality. He likes arguing with retards. And like, if you just watch him, like he'll argue with a retard for an hour and a half. It's actually amazing. And the guy's still just as dumb as when he came across him. So
That's
he
so
does
true.
things like that. I wonder if he misses that. But for everything else, I'm sure he has to come back and do the parade. He has to, man. There's so many people that he just has to take a big fat deuce on. People who just said he was a scammer, Cointelegraph. Like, for instance, there's so many resurrections. Like, we got to do like even the side quests. Like after we've done all the main things, BitBoy's gonna have to like retweet. Hey guys, remember when I was Richard Hart's friend? Like all those things have to come back. You know what I mean? Like all those things.
Man, BitBoy is so gonna do that, bro. Like 100%.
But do you think
Yeah,
literally the court case gets dropped and bam, like the next day he's just streaming?
Now, I'll be honest. It's important everyone to know this. What he did with the Origin Address SAC Fund movement in January
yep.
of this year was he basically gave the middle finger to the SEC. I'm not even joking, bro. That was the only thing like that could actually take him down. Where if they go, you know what, we want to set a precedent. You scammed people, and we don't want people to do this in the future. It could have gone that route. It really could have. You know what I mean? And
100%.
Judge Auntie Carroll wasn't even looking at the case yet. He literally just went, nah, screw yous. I'm just gonna buy into ETH and I'm gonna buy the top. Do you know what I mean? Like he did that. That is that to me shows SEC's irrelevant. I'm not joking. SEC's irrelevant. What's more relevant to us is, I really be serious. It's how much of the PDI he secretly owns, number one, and two, Ethereum's price.
Sure.
Ethereum's price. So that I think is the function by which you can change your targets. We can do a 5x and it's all over, or we can literally do. I'm not joking. We can do 100x, 200x. If he does that hyperloop, and yeah, he can trap a lot of people. Not us. We won't be trapped because we're long now. He can trap a lot of people, and then they'll shill our bags in the next cycle. So I made a video recently just so everyone
100%.
knows. He doesn't see that as a trap. So when we say trap, because man, we got like, you got families and girlfriends and wives. They're like, oh my god, you're still in this thing. But with him, it's not a trap. With him, it's like a victory. Like, you convinced all these people to join. Now they have mind share for you, and now they can shill you in the next 3 years in the bear market because they have to DCA buy and they want to get their bags back. So like, he's basically got you by the balls, and that's a victory for him. And no one else thinks like that. Like CZ doesn't think like that. Some other founders don't think like that. Like, they don't think let's do a scenario where our price literally goes to the biggest spike up in the moon and just uppercuts you. No one ever thinks like that. Like, if you look at CZ, for example, CZ in an interview, you know, guys, you don't even know, CZ with Binance, he didn't want to flip Bitcoin. You know, BNB could have flipped Bitcoin. He didn't want it to. He wanted it to just grow gradually against Bitcoin. But who talks like that? It's so weird. It's kind of like they're happy to be third place. Like, they didn't want to embarrass Bitcoin. And you can imagine, like, imagine Richard Hart saying, I'm not going to pump us that hard because I'm too scared we'll go too high. You see, we're like dealing with two polar opposite things. In a bear market, it sucks. Like, you're going to die. But now we're in the bull market part.
Yeah, Pedro was just saying he could stream, just come back near the top, and that could be a top. And that would create a mad hyper wave spike beyond what anybody thought was the top. Because, I mean, here's the thing. There's still a lot of attention with what he's doing, without a doubt. Even with the SEC case dropping, I mean, does he just want to come right out, or does he just want to continue communicating with us through the blockchain and through green candles? I mean, if we're just printing green dildos as far as the eye can see up and to the right, I mean, that's, he's talking.
Cause and effect, though, right? Like, you know, him talking, like, in real life could result in green dildos.
Yeah, well, that too.
Sure.
I think he'll up his game, though. Like, I think it won't be, you know, he's probably not going to be on the stream with Fast Abdul. He's probably going to be on the stream with, you know, the top 5 crypto influencers in the world, or like on real news broadcasts that normies watch. Like, it's going to be like higher level stuff, maybe a little less often than people were used to in the past. What do you guys think?
You know, sirs, I really like. You're right, Mr. Abdul. If the next phase, if the prophecies are true, so you got your Bible, you open up the chapter. The next part is the wallet. He needs a wallet and a stable coin.
100%.
He needs the all-encompassing solution, because we all know about what's everyone say. They're like, dude, when the bear market hits, I'm out. Seize for 3 years. This is the biggest scam ever. But there's a big product market fit. If you can solve for people not leaving, okay?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Of course, people are going to leave, you know, but the prices go down. But if you can solve for that, if you can get people to hold your stable coins, I can't tell you how, like, no one's done that before. No one's ever done that. I think it's a race now. I think if he does it, Justin Sun's going to do it. I really think Justin Sun will make like Justin Wallet, you know what I mean? And Justin stablecoin, and he'll copy Richard. And that's why all of us, if he pulls this off, yeah, it's a difference between us. You know, you could make your 5 or a 10x from here, but we could, we could see something stupid. We could see the 100x. We could see Pulse at 1 cent. We could see Hex at $1.50.
100%. Oh, 100%. Or even higher. But how does a wall get?
But like Somi, that's my point. That's like, he's like, if he's gonna play that game, and that's a very difficult game to play, right? I mean, it needs to be like everything needs to be perfect, right? So that's why I think like streaming could be risky, right? Because now there's not one token, there's not Hex, right? There's a shit ton of RH coins, right? There's the 4 core tokens, then there's PDAI, then there's all the other PRCs, etc. So it's a much more dangerous game to play now, I think, from his perspective, right? Because you can offend people very quickly.
You know what though? If this is the thing, there's all these shit coins, okay? I love them all. Okay? We have all these shit coins.
Sure.
But if he has control over the stable coin, he is effectively Jerome Powell with the Federal Reserve. Because if you're holding his stable coin, you are holding his peg, and he can mint more of your stable coin, that the purchasing power of it, to go buy up the cause. You know, so it's like it's basically like we're all in a city and he's the mayor, and you're like, look, you can be a strip club, You can be a church, you can be a restaurant, as long as you're all holding my currency, it doesn't matter what you guys do, because I have to keep collecting. I can collect your purchasing power every single year. Maybe that's actually his grand. Maybe not even his grand. That actually that has to be how crypto has to work.
Look, I subscribe to that entirely. Like I could see that like happening from like a grandmaster plan. Like, you know, like that sounds like Richard, right? So I could subscribe to that. Like, he wants to be the Federal Reserve of Pulse Chain, right? I like that idea, and I subscribe to it. It makes
100%.
sense.
Somi, everybody wants to see your nipples.
I was this close to showing him, and I'm like, bro, what are you doing? This is not Euphoria. You know what I mean? Like, it's no way that would.
Not yet, Somi, bro. Not
Top
yet.
signal. Top signal.
Not yet.
That's on.
We see his nipples.
I would. Can you imagine like crypto banter? They have to bring me out, and I'm like, you know what? I'm making the top right now, and I'm just flashing everyone live on camera.
Please,
I'm making the top.
Oh my god, the nipples gonna make the top of.
It's
Okay.
good.
You guys don't know. I've got friends and family in real life. They don't know how much money we're dealing with.
They know what you do.
Everyone thinks like you got like $800 in like this
Right.
thing.
It's true.
Like they don't
It's
know
true.
there are people walking around here,
Oh my God.
multiple 7 figures, like just blowing out. They have no idea. They literally think we're all skits. They have freaking no idea. Even though you tell them, they're like, nah, it can't be real, right? You know, there are people, they still think if you have like $1 million of Bitcoin, you can't sell. Literally people out there, they go, oh, but you can't sell it, you know. That's, yeah.
Okay, quick question. The wallet, I think it's coming. I now believe everything the Heartman has said after going through with the PDI thing, going through hours and hours and hours of back videos. He was certainly talking about the collateralization of Hex and PDI and talking about this a long time. He's mentioned a wallet in many videos. How do you think a wallet or even this stable coin is going to mitigate the drawdown in a bear market? And to what extent?
I'll be honest, sir. I don't think it will. I actually think he's gonna. he wants to send this so high, we're gonna drop 98% anyway. I don't think it's gonna mitigate it. I think we're all gonna think he's gonna mitigate it. It's gonna be a nice narrative, but you got to understand. You gotta understand how it works. Like, this is when I figured it out. Okay, this is what actually it's controversial in PDI community, because everyone in PDI is new and they believe it's going to $1 tomorrow. They literally Christmas, we're pegging. Okay, look, I got pegs for you, Habib. I got pegs.
Here we go.
But I don't know if we're going to peg tomorrow.
Yeah,
But here's
there's
the
a
thing.
lot of that
So
talk.
what he's doing is there's a trick. Okay. And it's not really a trick, but how it works is we got the PDI, but we have incentive token. And he's going to use that to move 150 billion of stable coins out there in crypto. He has to grab like a couple of billion of it. Like, and it makes sense that out of 150 billion Tether, they're not earning any yield, literally zero. So they're all cucks. They're literally earning zero yield. And if he just offers you 5% and they bridge in $2 billion, like, you got to imagine the rage people on the sidelines will have, because all these people are coming in for yield, and now he can mint the stable coin, and they have the curve swap. He can swap around. Everything's diluted. It's like you got the Richard Hart dollar, and then you got that. By the way, I'm just using these terms because I'm imagining Eric Wall in 2 years from now, after everything drops 98%, and he's writing like the obituary, and he's like saying, "You idiots, you mixed your precious stable coins with Richard Hart's Ponzi stable coin, and this is all that happened." So I'm imagining that happen, but it's all part of the plan. So it's not like this thing fails or anything. Okay, so because you got to go up 100x first, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I imagine all of it happened. But you need that bridge. We need that bridge, guys. So that bridge, that's what you're betting on Richard Hart to press some buttons, toggle the yield. He advertises, and everyone advertises, and all the money bridges over. And then there's people in stable coins. So this is the genius part, man. Because I was always wondering, this is the first thing. I was wondering, why not use the OA funds? Why is this better? And then I sat down and I calculated it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is turbo leverage. Okay.
Yeah.
If he rotates into the OA SAC funds, it moves everything up, but it's only like 1 or 2 billion. Okay. And you got Rectum Rochelle, cashes out a bill, you know what I mean? Like, you have all these other things. But if he uses PDI, you're not limited by the Ethereum price. Okay. You're limited by the stable coins out there in the world. So that's freaking huge, guys. There are 150 billion stable coins, man. If he could get like 5 billion in there, like, oh my gosh, like he could use the purchasing power of 5 billion or 10 billion or 15 billion. You could never get that in Ethereum, by the way. If Ethereum hits 10 grand, you've only got 1.7B. But there's 150 billion of Tether. Like Richard, Richard's like a really grandiose, high ego guy. He's like, there's 150 billion retards dollars not earning yield. We can get 20 billion. My gosh, that's 1,000x. I don't think we're gonna get that. Like, I'm just like, imagine we can just get something gargantuan out there. Here's the thing.
It'll come.
Here's the funny part. Yeah. They come in and earn yield. They don't have to stay for a year, guys. They just have to stay for like a week or two. Like once they're locked in, they go, thank you, there's your purchasing power. You start minting, you start the Hyperloop straight away. Because once they're locked in, you use their purchasing power, he buys up more ink, and then the yield gets bigger, and the Pulse Chain core coins get bigger. Then that advertisers even a louder megaphone to the rest of the world. They're like, wait a minute, the yield's going up. It used to be 30%, now it's 60%. And then it invites more money, and then more yield. That's the Hyperloop. That's the funny. This is interesting. Even, Ivan on Tech, right? Always joking about PDI, pegging and stuff. He watched my video on the Hyperloop, and he's like, he didn't even doubt it. He goes, oh yeah, that happens every bull market. And he moved on. And I was like, what? Like, he had this, think about it. He sold his Pulse. He's in Soy now. We're going to try getting back in. He's not even in PDI. He's like, the PDI, the pegging. But once he saw my video about the Hyperloop, he didn't even question it. He goes, oh yeah, that happens every time. Someone in crypto finds a way to do it. Waves did it before. So this Hyperloop, it's exciting, but it's also, you got to understand, man, we are going to get so many people in, and the crash is going to be horrific at the end. But to get the crash, you got to go 100x. So it's going to be fun, friends. It's going to be fun. That's why I beg you, next year, don't ask for permission, man. You're changing your life. Just start taking profit, bro. Shave off 1% every week to pay off the bills, because, like, honestly, it'll be better for us if Richard's not streaming. Because if Richard's streaming and you're looking at him in the eye, he's like, we're winning. We're not stopping. Like, you're like in a trance. You're like, oh, I don't want to sell. I don't want to leave. I'm a retard if I leave, right? But he's right. Except there will be a point though. Then you're like, look what happened to Gunther. Just so everyone knows, guys. Like, a lot of people say with PDI, it can't get up to a certain amount. Bro, Gunther DCA'd 50 grand worth in 2020. He was worth $100 million at the top. He didn't sell the whole way. He has stake. He's 100 million. And Wallet DO1, another 200 million. And then you had Rector Michelle, another couple of 100 million. These guys, look, these numbers do happen. But they're the soldiers. There's no sell point, So, but here's the thing, like, don't even worry about that bear market stuff. Look, we deserve it, bro. Screw everybody else. I say truck them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they've been laughing at us for 3 years. We deserve it, bro. You know what I mean? Like, if they want to come, oh man, it's look, if he pulls this off, if he actually pulls this off, what do you boys think? Do you think he's got a chance of pulling it off? Like, and by the way, I want to ask you guys, what would you guys even be scared of if we stop? Like, if we're up 10x from here, are you going to feel anxiety? Because like, oh crap, man, if we drop 95%, I want to hear your numbers. Like, what are you thinking about?
Like, so for me, it's like, so first the question, right? Can he pull it off? Yeah, I think he can pull it off, but it really depends on one thing, which is belief. Like, we all need to fucking believe in his stablecoin. We really need to believe in PDI, that the peg can, remain as like, because, I think for me it's simple, right? It's a matter of people, like, not selling. That's it, right? If they hold, right, he can sell, right? He can sell and pump our coins. That's my point, right? So I do believe that it is possible, right? It's a probabilities game. Like, regarding targets, yes, definitely 100x, man. Like, he needs to brag. He needs to be able to brag a lot, right? So I think, man, I think the pump needs to be huge, significant. It needs to, like, we need to look at the end. We need to look at the chart, like we do with PDI, right? We need to be looking at the chart and, like, recognizing X, right? For all the fucking charts, Ink, Pulse, X, doesn't matter, all of them. Yeah, up and to the right, basically. So yeah.
I think he can make some green candles. I think it's going to be pretty exciting, and I think there will be a strategy behind it. It's not going to be just giant spends for no reason, please dump on me. It's going to be timed. It's going to be planned. He's going to have a spreadsheet. It's going to be good. And as far as things like PDI goes, like, if he's participating with that, like, it'll be as part of the plan as well. But can he do it by himself, or does he need the community support? Does he need people to build on top of it to make it have structure? That remains to be seen.
Yeah, I think that it's going to pump. unbelievable amount. And an interesting way to think about it might be maybe instead of a Heartman streaming immediately after the case, maybe a wallet pops up. Maybe it becomes extraordinarily easy to bridge into Pulse Chain suddenly. And then there's changes in farms, incentives go up dramatically, green candles start printing, and it runs. And I think you're right. I don't think anything we do is going to mitigate a crash. I just think the pump is going to be like nothing we've ever seen before. I think it's going to do in the hundreds. Yeah.
Like regarding it, I actually have a theory that, you know, like I'm sure he'll have like at least 2 or 3 big updates for next year, right? In terms of Pulse Chain updates, like PulseX, whatever it is. Like he'll have updates, right? He'll release stuff. Because I think he understands that it's much better to release stuff when everybody's here, right? When, like, you know, the bull market is like fully on, when there's people around, like when there's like all these PDI energy, right? So I think that there will be, you know, things coming out next year. Pulse Chain related,
100%.
I guess.
Pardon me 1 second. Maddie, what's going on, brother? I just put a link if you want to come join. Join us, man. It's a Ecamm link.
Hey, Maddie with a cowboy hat. Yeah, if we I want everyone to know, like, let's say we only go 10x, because you don't know, friends. Like, I want everything to pump, but what if there's what if China just takes a big fat deuce on Taiwan next year and just breaks all the models? And they said, oh, they never do it. You never know. Like, I want you to know that we learned from like XRP and Tron and stuff. In 2021, they didn't pump as high, but they didn't dump as bad. You know, they didn't get the 99%. They went like 85% worst case and then 80. So like the bear market floor, like I'm guessing like maybe 2x your portfolio from today. Now it's not going to feel good if you went up 10, then come back to only 2. But the floor's still nice because we've gone through a long time. You know what I mean? And we don't have to worry about that. But if he activates the Hyperloop, just it's I can't. I'm just jittering because I already know. I already know the types of essays we're gonna get in criticism after, because they're gonna call it the Richard Hart stablecoin. They're gonna call it the next Luna. I already know, friends. I already know exactly what they're gonna call it. But that's what you want, man. They're gonna keep calling it that, and they're gonna be feeding in like, oh man, it's gonna be yes.
Eric
I don't want to jig anything up
for a long time.
So you keep saying if. Do you still think it's an if? Because I think the whole plan from the beginning with PDI was the rotation and the collateralization of the vault. Or do you still think it's a meme? We don't know.
Look, I've said,
or you just
man,
covering your butt.
it's honestly, friends, it's a 98% chance for me. But
that's pretty high.
I don't throw that odd number out because, man, I'm not making it up. I was literally hanging a dump, and then Koopy messages me, hasn't spoken to me for 2.5 years. Okay, Koopy messages me, and he says, "I got 100 grand. Do I throw it all in PDI?" Friends,
we're getting a lot of those.
Didn't want to put in $500 in 2022 at the lows to DCA. $500. He didn't want to put it in. Okay. Next message, 100 grand, and just PDI. I've never spoken to him about PDI ever. I've never mentioned the word PDI. I'm like, bro, it's a common theme, man. It's 4 hex from 4 years ago. You know, remember 4 years ago, a lot of like the smart guys, they look at the new hexagons and they'd say, you're all stupid. Yield you're earning is just diluting purchasing power. Okay. Now they sound smart, bro. We went up 80x. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you sound smart. You got to miss out all of it. It's the same thing happening. Okay, that's why. But we don't know the full story. That's how early we are. We're actually still early. See, we don't have the Eric Wall criticisms yet. Okay, we don't have when Eric finally figures out what's going on. I've already made his arguments for him. I'm like, hey, bro, you're gonna use this in about 9 months, and he's gonna write. Richard got real US dollars to bridge in, lock in on the Curve stable swap fork to his Ponzi dollars, and then he mints the supply, mixes it around, and uses it to Hyperloop up. Okay, so but when I say that, it's meant to be bullish, so you understand what's going on. Because here's the thing: people who are on the sidelines, I'm trying to help everybody. People on the sidelines, they're like, listen, no one can make money out of thin air. There's a purchasing power cost somewhere. They say that, and I'm like, bro, I have the answer here for you, and it's playing out. They still don't believe, bro. No, they still don't believe. I wonder when they will. There will be a point, man. So congratulations to Maddie actually it's funny. Matt, they try to call Matty a top signal. It was funny. I saw it in some hex channels and stuff like. Oh, bro, do you understand? Matty is like number 3 out of like 180. Like you are. This is. It's crazy. So how you been? Continue, sir.
Maddie's here. What's up, Maddie?
Hey,
How you
Maddie.
doing?
Hey,
Welcome
good
to
to
the
see you
party.
guys. Glad to be here.
Man,
Yeah. So, what was the last thing you said about Maddie? He won. It cut in and out.
Yeah, sorry.
What was the point?
When Matty watched the PDI stuff and he could see it, and there's Richard Hart, new ways of communication,
Yeah.
and he's like, because I'm sure Matty remembers him being early to crypto and him being early to hex, and then like he's seeing the information here,
Mhm.
but now people obviously in the old guard, they're trying to say, well, maybe Matty's a top signal for this thing, man, and that could be, friends. It could be, because you know why? Because you need conviction, because one guy can cheat you out 80% any day. He wakes up, he skits it out, and you need to have confidence that you can buy the dip. Whereas if you're so all in on ID and the price goes the other way, you don't want to be caught like a deer in the headlights. But like every day that goes on, man, PDI, guys, if PDI does just another 2.5x, it's now the second biggest coin in all of Pulse Chain. In fact, it's like only under Hex. That's it. P Hex.
Yeah, it's almost there.
Like
It's
it
almost
flips
there, yeah.
Pulse, it flips Pulse X. And like if you really think at that point, yeah, Richard's just gonna let this vampire scam coin come out. That's gonna rug everybody at the end and bridge out like Solana. That's what they do. On Solana, the devs are just dumping all the Sol and bridging out. I'm just gonna say nothing about it. But I think every step of the way, man, every step, like, oh man, if we got to 10 cents, then what then? So I want everyone to think about that. What would you guys think? Is that 10 cents? Do you think, okay, it's only 10x now, or crap? Or maybe the Hyperloop is coming?
The Hyperloop is coming for sure. At 10x, 10x. Okay, this is I think what happens at 10x. I think at between 10 and 12 cents, we're gonna get that big juicy pullback, and that's when the big money is gonna rotate into PDI. That's when you're gonna see the 6 and 7 figure clips come in, like the really really massive clips are gonna come in. People are just gonna bridge in. Hey, look, mark my words, $1 million, $5 million clips are gonna come in. They're gonna come in from crypto land, and you're gonna see this. The dip will come in, and then it's just gonna move like unbelievable. Similar to like Hex did. You're just gonna see this just straight up.
Yeah,
Everybody
I
listens
to
specifically
it.
for everyone at home as well. Everyone's full of shit. They're all watching. Okay, not just in our community. Everyone outside, they're all watching. Trust me. Okay, I was here in 2021. I watched all the gatekeepers who were telling me Richard was a scammer from day one. That's why I hated him. Okay, I watched them by the end. They sacrificed for Pulse Chain. Okay, they sacrificed for it. They sacrificed for PulseX. Okay, they throw in 50k, 100k. Okay, and then unfortunately, in front of a few of them, like Dick Cherry and stuff, they just cheat out at the start. Okay, so these people, trust me, they're watching, man. Trust me, they are watching, and they get to do this anonymously. Okay, they're watching us, friends. Don't believe them when they're like you look at them, you're like, what's so exciting about this like piece of trash chain, like this the third layer 2 chain thing out here? They're full of crap, bro. They actually are paid. They are, and you know how they change their mind every literally 15 hours, 15 days. They're onto something new. But with this, man, it's just. I'm telling you guys, like I know they're watching. Okay, I know they're watching, and they know we've made a lot of videos. They know we haven't gotten anywhere. Okay, we're gonna do that walk up of death chart, which is actually amazing for us. But the walk up is where we start to go up, and they start getting that FOMO built up. Okay, so but they need to see those green candles. That's it. Okay,
Yeah.
Everything I talk about on my channel, they're all full of shit. Okay, and look, I had an epiphany. I literally did. There will be more buyers of PDI at $1 than right now.
course.
There will be more buyers at $1. I guarantee you that.
Are you
Almost
serious?
guaranteed.
Does this tie in with what
100%.
Pedro was saying? So you're saying it's going to go past $1?
No. What I mean is more people at that time will want to hold $1, and
They'll wanna
they'll be
hold it.
happy to buy it
Okay.
like 98, 99. That's what I mean, right?
Right. All right.
There's
Well,
a way to turn
obviously
it
there-
into
there will be
$1,
more
even
buyers
if
at the
it's not
dollar,
a dollar.
in that
There-
sense.
it can be collateral, and that's my plan. Is we're gonna have a PDI backed stablecoin.
The more the merrier.
Okay,
Yeah,
really
I
quick.
also I saw.
yeah, this is
Did
powerful
you guys
stuff.
see the reserve protocol tests? Or do you guys see that?
The-
But didn't that happen like a couple of days ago already? I think.
Yeah, that's right. So to refresh everyone, so there are some, it's not fun, there are some like unique 1 in 100,000 event cases where the PDI cannot work out, okay? So if Richard wanted to, after PDI is $1, he could make you hand it in to get like an actual Richard Hart stablecoin type of dollar. So, but here's the thing, man, like,
that's
this is the
possible,
funny part. If you listen to all these, they mid-curve you, bro, because you don't know all the answers, man. You don't know what he's gonna do, when he's gonna. You have no idea. That's why it's literally that's why the left curvers are winning. They're like, can I go to $1? And they just listen to one guy on Twitter going, yes, it can, and they're like, I'm in. That's it, bro. Once you start to go man, I was in a chat once. Okay, we found we found the wallet had 47,000 wrapped Bitcoin, and it was like 3 hours of research. Where'd it go? Whose is it? Is it Richard's? Mm-hmm. After 3.5 hours, it turned out to be the AMM bot. And I'm just looking at it. I got so drained, bro. I got so drained. And I was saying to him, I was like, guys, I never want to see this stupid on-chain stuff again. Yeah. By the way, all the guys researching it, none of them are long PDI. You see? So they were looking for a flaw. And I'm looking at it, and I'm getting an idea. I'm like, but you're all looking for a reason not to get long. You're going to miss the biggest opportunity. Literally. All the retards who don't know about crypto, they're already long, and they're long, like, it's going up, you know? So, perfect example, man. You do too much research, you just screw yourself up. You know, it's binary, you know? It either works or it doesn't. You know, it's kind of like,
Sammy,
Bitcoin as well.
like, this discussion is like so simple. It's like, for me, like, the reason I bought PDI, it was so simple. It's like, do I think that Richard Hart will build a system state, you know, fork, would copy all the fucking coins, just so that they're not worth anything, like, you know, valuable? I mean, that makes absolutely no fucking sense. Like that makes zero sense, like 0 sense at all. I don't get it. It was super easy buy for me. I mean, makes sense, right? Like most PRC20s, right? Like that's the point. He wants the copies to be valuable, I guess.
Yeah, well, that was his marketing from day one.
Blew me away. I was blown away by the fact that my second most popular tweet of all time was when I admitted that I was wrong about PDI, and this was recent. And it's kind of interesting because my most popular tweet was when I was calling out Twitter for gatekeeping one of the Hex front ends. My third most popular tweet of all time, of like years and years of doing this, was showing a big, nice, beautiful picture of how Richard Hart has never sold a single coin. And so these are all things that are kind of related to each other. And for me, the biggest aha moment, or the biggest thing that made me turbo bullish on everything, even though I hold almost no PDI because I was wrong about it, is this idea that the P copies are going to be worth more or equal to their original Ethereum versions. And, you know, we've seen this with Hex. Now we see PDI, you know, getting off 0 in terms of like the number of cents that it's worth. And I really think that a lot of the game theory that we talked about with Richard and with the community years ago that I had like abandoned hope for, I think that, and this is critical, in order to vampire attack the liquidity pools on Ethereum, the average token only has 2.5% of the supply holding up the entire value. And a lot of that, the liquidity is in USDC or Ethereum. And so basically what could happen is, with only 2.5% of token holders, they could give away all the value of all the liquidity pools on Ethereum simply by FOMOing into green candles and doing like, you know, yield farming on Pulse Chain. Once their copy, you know, is worth something, all they have to do is like swap into that, and all of a sudden, you know, all of this comes true of Pulse Chain being worth more. So yeah, it's crazy.
Maddie, thanks for joining us. We were talking about a really contentious subject, and I want to get your opinion on it. It's whether or not the Hartman comes back immediately around the court date or the case being dropped, or do you think he's going to stay distant for a little while? Have you thought about
I think
this?
Yeah, I think there's more than one thing, like, you know, of the timing of him returning to creating video. And yeah, I think that like some of these things have to play out with the price. And some of the, you know, maybe some of the gatekeeping starts to fall, but I'm sure it's the court stuff and the price that he's waiting on. I think that there's maybe a 75% chance in my mind. I'm a super optimist, but in my mind, there's like a 75% chance that the judge dismisses the case based on jurisdiction for Hex. And then Pulse Chain and Pulse X continue, which there would be certain advantages to that, because then we would get to play out like, you know, the legal basis of a sacrifice, and like all these different things could be like defended in court, and create case law. Now, so that could be for everything, because remember, if Hex, you know, goes to the moon, it pulls everything up with it, and then you get a lot less, you know, complaining that people are down versus their sacrifice. So I think like that would be cool. Now, if it goes to court with Hex along with it, you know, that's going to be dealt with. But you can see from Gerardo's AI demonstration, and I was sitting in court, and like Gerardo's AI reading of the court transcript is exactly what happened. And so you can see how many times they brought up the Hex conference, the one that was in person in Las Vegas that I put on, of what Richard said, and how many times they brought up him being on Fresh and Fit and the PulseCon. You know, that's their entire case is based off of things that Richard Hart said on video. And so, I think that like that gives more strong evidence that he's basically letting the price play out, and he's letting the legal process play out.
But do you think he's going to pull Satoshi for a little while? Or do you think he's just going to start streaming immediately?
He's not gone.
Communicating.
Satoshi is a bitch. Richard Hart tweets every day.
No, that's the thing. He has been communicating with us through the blockchain, through to X. And I feel it might continue for a while. He may not just come back immediately.
I mean, when was Satoshi on video? You know, it's like Satoshi only did tweet like the version of tweets back then, which was Bitcoin Talk Forum. So.
I mean, I wasn't being fully serious, but we did figure out the top signal is going to be when we get to see Somi's nipples. Absolutely,
exactly.
I can see what he's doing to his nipples, but I can't see his nipples yet, so it's not the top.
This is the after-hour stream. Anything goes. It's all good. Gabriel Lane says, does Maddie have any comment on the recent Binance tweet regarding Pulse Chain and PDAI? That's great. What do you guys think? I think, are they in on it? They know what's going on, or do you think it was complete, not related at all?
Look, CZ blocked me back in the day because I was talking about Hex, and CZ followed Sami just recently. So I want to hear what you guys think.
You did?
He did, yeah. It was pretty cool. Sami, what do you think of that?
Do you feel
when he followed you? Yeah.
You know,
a lot of pressure, man.
I'm in the spot with you guys. I follow these people too, and then you get starstruck. Just like maybe I'm come here, like, and I'm like, I hope no one shows me all those tweets, all these controversial tweets from.
Well, chat tells us it's your first time. Is it true? It's your first time coming on live here on a stream?
Yeah. I never click any of the links.
Are we
I always
popping
assume they're all like a virus or a scam.
We just popped his cherry. Live after hours.
Don't check your wallets now, Sobi. They're gone. Everything is gone, bro.
Oh no.
CZ is coming on the call. That would be it.
That'd be funny, but like it's I don't know what he wants. I'm guessing crypto's interesting to him now that this meme cult religion archetype is forming. He probably doesn't respect it. He's probably like build. I'm like, yeah, bro, we can build stuff. No one cares about it. Like, you know, I can go build a building, but if people don't want to live there, it means nothing. But I don't know where it's gonna land, friends. Like, it's gonna be really fun. It really will be, because centralized exchanges, they have to list memes. There's nothing else we care about. You don't care about anything. And by the way, when I say memes, it's not like, you know, zombie Joe Biden number 55 on Pump Fund, as in the memes, cults, religions archetype. Bro, you're looking at we literally We shame you if you don't lock your money up for 15 years. We shame you. People actually
We're the
will be like,
extremists.
that poor person. They just don't get, like, we actually shame people. You don't have that anywhere else, bro. You just, guys,
Okay,
I don't want to name names. There's guys on Twitter I follow. They're like meme coin OG guys. One of them, he bragged about his long-term holding. It was, bro, 12 months. He actually, not like joke, it's 12 months. They were actually bragging. They're like, oh, I hold so long. 12 months, bro. What the, like, they're full on bragging. They got no ID. They literally have no ID. They, and you know what? Maybe they hit a few moonshots, but they're just, it's totally different level, friends. I get accused all the time. Go talk about something else. Show us the other ecosystems. I go, bro, every time I go look at something else, I like, oh, you're an early Richard Hart project. That's it. Like, you're just trying, you have to emulate what we're doing here. We're like so far beyond it.
Here's what I think about the CZ tweet. This is what came to my mind when he followed you. I think he's sending a signal. I think in a way he's communicating in a similar fashion that the Heartman's been communicating with us via the blockchain and with the hints in X and the clues. I think he knows what's going on. I think he's behind the Heartman 100%. I know that he knows this needed to be done, and he supports what's happening on Pulse Chain. And it was his way of sending like a little signal that, hey, you know, we're with you. Not only are they with us, there may be some working in the background with some of these players. The Heartman may be, you know, they may all be working together to help.
I think that there's like deep wounds. Like there is so much competition and controversy between Richard and CZ. Remember, Johnny Chaos like sued CZ's company, CoinMarketCap, for
but you know what?
Like
they respect
like
each
they
other.
gatekept
They
X
respect each other
because Richard vampire attacked Bitcoin. Now he's vampire attacking Ethereum, and it's working, right? Pulse X is kind of a copy of Uniswap, but it's also kind of a copy of BNB, right? With the buy and burn and everything.
Sure.
And so I think that the reason he's paying attention and the reason he's starting to do this little signaling stuff is maybe they're going to dump. But I think that is part of the game plan of how you get to $1 is the Jeets are going to Jeet. And maybe he's in some golden handcuffs because he knows the legal hellfire that would rain down if any of these centralized exchanges start selling people's coins that they're entitled to. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I mean, if you asked me, I would think that people selling is a good thing. If you want to get to $1, people selling at these prices is good. And so the more of these big players that can get out, the less liability there is higher up.
Like, look, Somi cut through the noise, and he cut through into the greater crypto world, all right, without a doubt. And I think CZ following him was a thing going, you're on the right path. You know, like what's going on over there, or what you guys are focused on. Like, keep going, I think. But that was something I thought.
You know, as well, I want just some context for everyone at home. When Richard was vampiring, he was seen as the bad guy, okay? Even I knew it. I've said to my friends, I go, man, it feels like we're the bad guys. But here's the thing, man. He was actually just ahead of the times, okay? Back then, Bitcoin, the way, the truth, the light, Max Kaiser, doing the Gunther thing with, reach salvation and stuff. That's what it was back then, 2021. Now, it's actually BlackRock BTC. We know what's going on. You know, Michael Saylor, Michael Saylor's got Bitcoin by the balls. You know, his friends, he's got 420,000 Bitcoin now. He's got 4% of the supply, bro. Okay, so he's got
or
a
does
lot.
BlackRock have Michael Saylor by the balls?
Dude, they've got them all each other's by each other's balls. And you don't want to go to that mud wrestling party, you know what I mean? There's no girls there. So these people, if they really wanted to, they can make a registry. Hey, if you're not on this registry, you're a black unhosted wallet. They can do that somewhere in the future. But also, so that's Bitcoin. You go, what about Ethereum? Man, Ethereum was the people's coin. You know that back it was the underdog. Vitalik still got a big head. But look what happened in the past 2 years. Vitalik went, jabs himself 3 times, wears a mask, eats bugs, does a lot of weird stuff, and I'm sitting there on the sidelines. I'm like, man, I would have never predicted that we look like the good guys now. You know what I mean? Like, we were like nutcases back then. But I honestly, I generally thought we're the actual bad guys. I'm like, because you're vampiring. The word vampire is here. But now you're looking at it like, wait a minute. You guys are a bunch of bug-eating. There's some disgusting stuff on Ethereum. Like, they're bragging about those cultural, all these. It's just, bro, it's just wrong time, bro. Trump won. Move it aside. And we do have a big gap to fill. And I'm not joking, man. Pulse Chain, all the P tokens, I call them protein version of tokens. And the other ones, they really are estrogen, man. They are weak. They need a warlord, man. Like Vitalik, it doesn't ring true to their personality of the chain, but they really are like it. Doesn't mean they're going away, but there's a big product market fit, man. Look, it's not a coincidence. Andrew Tate is in Pulse Chain. Money Gang Crypto, shout out to Money Gang, found these wallets. He's farming, okay? The little DGen, he's farming in the Pulse ETH farm. What a noob, by the way. The Pulse WETH farm, bro. Unbomb that, slap the WETH in, buy some Hex, Pulse X. What are you doing with Ethereum? Anyway, it's kind of funny, you know what I mean? So he's farming in there. He's got all the tokens.
He's slowly selling, so he's slowly selling. It's fine.
Yeah. You can tell they respond to this alpha male leader, and it was so lucky, man. Donald Trump. It's just like everything is just pointing next year, where all these males under 40 who they're sick of this flaily arms weirdos. You know what I mean? Like they just want someone to lead. They do. By the way, it's why there's big controversy with Hex and PDI now because the early Hexicans they responded to Richard, Warlord Richard. Now. Richard's like God. He's not human flesh. He's like whispering through the chain. Oh, I'm going to move these coins. And everyone's going absolutely bonkers. They're like, what the hell's going on? Are you talking or not? It's not a scam yet. So it's beautiful, man. We're still early, bro. If we had all the answers, guys, it's too late. Okay, you literally can't make any money. We are 4 years ago. Eric Wall's writing essays still about why Hex is going to go to zero. And then you got Matty Allen going on stream saying nah, we're designed to pump. We've got the best founder. You know what I mean? Like, we're literally at that time right now. And once the story concludes, it's too late.
Yeah. This is history, guys.
100%.
All right. So I got Maddie and Somi. We were talking about this earlier. Incentive token.
How bullish are you?
How bullish are you on
guys on
incentive?
incentive?
We're already thinking of the next thing. What's the next?
It's the lolly, sir. Incentive token. I want to hear Maddie's thoughts as well. So you can look at Inc. pulse ratio. It looks like you can do a triple from here, a 3x on what. So that means whatever Pulse does. So if you think Pulse can do a 30, this thing does a 90. But I was always bullish on it. But if you connect the PDI pieces, you're like, that's the carrot on the stick. Okay, because Tether have to buy bonds. They go buy bonds and they keep the yield for themselves. They earn their 5% and they give nothing out to the Tether cuck holders. Okay, so Richard's got, hey, I've got this shiny green token. That's your yield, and they can come in, and that's why he's just got to get them in for a week. They don't have to stay for a year, friends. Just bridge in once. Try grab the lollipop, the ink. Once they're locked in, we start doing the turbo loop. So there you can see the vision, right? If this works out, Maddie, I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, so incentivizing people to do the right, what Bitcoin did, right? With to burn their electricity is like their proof of work, and so it's proven itself throughout all. But I think in particular, the way that Pulse Chain is using this idea that we out fully and abandoned hope on, but now I believe in again, is this idea that anything that's created on Pulse Chain can pay for itself by incentivizing people to bridge their value from outside of Pulse Chain, to bridge from the Ethereum network. Primarily, there could be bridges set up with other chains like Bitcoin, maybe someday. So you've got the power of the AMM technology, which is like the in the top 3 inventions in all of crypto history. It proves the price of something without a middleman. Being able to put in 2 sides, 2 assets, and lock them in a smart contract and say, I'm so sure of this price that you can take either side of the trade. And so that's the technology that the incentive token is trying to reward, is people proving the price of something and having Hart's law in effect. And so I don't think that this story is complete without people at some point, maybe at a higher price or maybe very soon, people are going to need to start bridging in their real world assets and linking it up with the farm. And you know, we saw the master chef on the incentive token kind of gave out yield to Hex versus Hex for a minute. What it was like with Bitcoin, wrapped Bitcoin, you could do it for a little while. So there have been these experiments that played out, and I think that those were the early days, and that was to prove something. And now the timing has to line up for because of how basically you can look at the liquidity and you can tell what the price is going to do if you well, maybe you might not know the direction, but you'll know the magnitude. So for example, you know, the thickest liquidity between stuff outside of Pulse Chain and stuff inside of Pulse Chain is between Pulse and Wrapped ETH and Pulse and the stables. And it's through the incentive token that is set up that the amount of thickness between those pairs is based on the amount of incentive token that's being given to those people. And so but there's thinner liquidity between like Hex and Wrapped ETH. And so what that means is you have to route through Pulse Chain in order to buy PHEX. You have to route through the PLS token.
You're right.
And that's really important because it tells us that Hex is going to pump more relative to PLS if that liquidity mapping holds, which is dictated by the incentive token. It's even more obvious with PLSX because again, there's a routing thing that has to happen. So
Interesting. I want to get Fast Abdul and Pedro. I want to get your point of view. But chat, smash those like buttons. Look, we got massive, epic pillars of the community in here today. The deck is full. We are pumping out here. So smash those like buttons. And if you guys have any questions, definitely put them in there. You want to ask this team. This is now the time to get the alpha.
This is the dream team we got going tonight.
Dream team going tonight,
Exactly.
man. After party's looking.
Before Mr. Abdul speaks,
Pumping.
there's a gentle sir, I forgot your name in here, Mr. Pumpaholics. He said, he just a joke, he goes, I got PTSD from like inflation and stuff out here. But here's the thing, sir. You know how this ends now, okay? So we're believers, okay? We're the nut jobs. The people coming in next year, that's why I'm trying to help you. I call them non-believers, but I might have to change that word. Because they're going to come in, they're going to dwarf your money. Like, bro, I don't know how much you're holding, 50 grand, 100 grand, whatever. People are going to come in, slap 700,000 and tell you, of course, we're going to do another 30x. Of course we are. So you can't look at them as like, oh, it's an excuse to just hold forever. At least you now know what happened. So we're going to look for the haters. That's why I'm just going to be telling you guys next year, hey, a lot of the haters who are now in, that's actually was the top of Pulse Chain and PulseX Sacrifice. Now you know today, okay? We've got a long way to go, but that's why I'm just helping you. You look out, you remember that. You go, oh, the people who call me a nut job. Like, imagine Randy Boo. Imagine Richard Hart does a wallet sacrifice, and then Rand says, you know what? I'm going to throw into the sacrifice. And we're like, bro, you faded us for 3.5 years. We're up 150x, and now you want to put your money in? Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, that's, you got to be waiting for that moment. We're not there yet. So, yeah, Mr. Abdul, you can take the stage, sir.
Big clips are coming. Big clips.
There's a lot going on here. Hard to talk to you guys on any of this stuff. But like I'm very bullish on what's going to happen in general.
Yeah.
But I think now is a time where you have to be extra careful because you don't have as much time to recover as you did before. But there are a lot of plays in the Pulse Chain. The one thing that I keep coming back to that I think people have kind of forgotten is one of the things that RH has said the most over the past couple of years is do not expect profit from the labor of others. And, you know, that's one thing as a community. I think we need to, as much as I would really like him to come back to work, I think we have to look at the concept that, like, we have to make this happen ourselves. We have to build stuff. We have to do stuff. We have to get the word out. We have to do mega streams like this with awesome people and bring in people from other chains to the Pulse Chain however we can. So I really respect the influencers that do that all day long because it's a freaking hard job. I can't, I can't get my mind around that level of activity like Sobi does, but we can all do our part. And part of it is working together as a community. Now is the time for unity. It's not the time for fighting. We did that in the bear market. It was fun. I really enjoyed fighting with you guys. But like now, let's go. Let's get it together.
Synergy.
Let's get to
We
work.
got synergy,
Back to the
baby.
bet.
Yeah.
And we'll have a chance to fight again. So it's
Those-
all,
Yeah,
it's all
later.
good. Guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna
we can kill
fight
each other in like 1 or 2 years. It's fine. It's gonna happen. Like
Yeah, no problem.
absolutely. But yeah,
I was-
go on.
So I was at a conference earlier this year. I don't even remember which one it was, but I was seated at a table of like 12 people with 2 of them representing Uniswap, and it was really fun to like go, just like mess with them a little bit because they know exactly what's up. And there was a whale sitting at the table who, at first was like, "Oh, you're into like Hex and Pulse Chain, like." What's up with that? But he admitted that he had sacrificed for Pulse Chain because he was so wrong about Hex, and so that's something that you'll see probably play out over and over again.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Where people like that they think they're wrong even now, and or basically they're selling while we're buying, and then it's going to repeat over and over again. So yeah, I think for some people it takes more than one a time of them being wrong before they learn their lesson. But there's always going to be more chances, I think, for people to figure out what the true principles in crypto are, and like taking Hex off the front end, that's not one of them, and that's not that's not cool.
Oh, cool. I think Corey's right here. Let's bring him on. Let me make some room. Hang on.
Corey's coming on. Also, friends, about Uniswap, you guys remember what Twitter was like when Jack Dorsey was in charge of it? Like, nose ring, walking around, just a full-on commie. You remember Twitter? They would just ban you. If you even hinted that the zombie virus came from China, banned, disabled, you're not allowed to say somebody's got like, funny-smelling armpits or something. You're not even allowed to say that. They just ban you, and then you got to bribe them to basically get unbanned. Yeah. Then Elon comes in and it's a breath of fresh air. Well, Uniswap is like that. Uniswap, man, one of the worst, most disappointing things ever. The best technology freaking in crypto, literally Bitcoin, Ethereum, Uniswap, third pillar tech. And now they're just like these little like woke flaily arms, just like this weird thing. You know what I mean? Just it's so sad, but also gives us opportunity because just like Elon Musk comes in with Twitter, and he changes it. Yeah, Richard Hart comes in. He's like, it's just make some tweaks. So he's like, oh yeah, now I've got the best decks in the world. Why didn't Uniswap do it? So it's just big waste of potential. I kind of feel sorry for people holding it, but I wanted to come back. But I just want you guys to know that we're early. So other people's blunders, and because all these people are eating bugs all the time, it actually creates opportunity for us. And you can even see, like, man, they're going around, so much weird stuff going on. I can't believe they even have a freaking platform. Like, trust me, when I first came in, I thought we look like the bad guys. We're taking their tech. We're trying to take their liquidity. We're the ones vampiring. After a few years, I go, you know what? You actually are just a bunch of bitches. You actually are like, and the funniest part is, as Maddie said, they do sacrifice, man. They're in, friends. They're actually in, okay? And they're gonna feel the FOMO because, like, bro, XRP came back, man. Your coin does nothing. You came back. Why? Every time I go, the barber's got some. This guy has no idea what crypto is. I remember walking to the shopping center. This guy was talking to his girlfriend. He had XRP, okay? Just random thing. I didn't even speak to him. I just walked by in the center. I'm like, bro, who are these people who have this? So it's the people that has the value, man. We actually have value. I know we look like a bunch of nutcases. Everyone's here on the live stream. I literally have peg nipples out here. I'm telling you, they are literally nothing without us, bro. A city is nothing without the people. Go out and say, oh, wow, look at this 100%. Block. Look at this block of land. There's nothing, bro. If there's no people there, it means nothing. Okay, a patch of grass in New York is infinitely worth more than a patch of grass in like sub-Saharan desert of Africa. Okay, it's literally all the people, and they don't care, bro. They move. Arbitrum. Oh, let's go move to Optimism. Oh, let's go move to this layer 3, bro. You don't care. You don't care. With Pulse Chain, okay, like I'm telling you now, I'm just imagining. Imagine I made a video saying, hey guys, I'm done with the chain. I'm kind of leaving. Oh my God, you guys are going to kill me. You literally kill me. You literally get a fork and go, bro, you're not leaving until your replacements. You put the gun to my head. You go, bro, you're not leaving until all your replacements are here. But go to Arbitrum when they leave. Oh, bye. Yeah, it's nice knowing you. There's a bunch of cucks. No one cares. Okay, so this passion, man, it has to blow up to something big. It has to. Where else are we gonna go? Like, and people, don't you feel safe as well, knowing that if we drop 90%, Maddie's gonna make another conference. I'm gonna make videos, bro. You got nothing on these other chains. It's literally, is Vitalik? He's gonna keep dumping ETH tomorrow. Like, you just don't know, man. So yeah, I want to hear your thoughts on that, guys. It really, there's a lot of value going on here, but trust me, no one wakes up until the green candles come. Oh, and Corey's
100%.
here as well, sir. Corey, can you chime in?
Welcome.
What's
man. Welcome to the
up,
after
guys?
party.
Oh my God! I'm sitting there freaking laying in bed, trying to go to freaking sleep, and then I'm scrolling through YouTube and like, what the hell is this stream? I had to get out here and at least scream in the loudest megaphone that Pulse Chain is going to the moon, guys. You guys know it is. So, hello, what's going on, guys? How we doing tonight?
I'm doing
What's
good.
up,
man.
Sami?
What's up?
Shit, the dream come
So-
true for me, man.
Well, another
Sorry.
another old narrative that we seem to have forgotten is this idea that Pulse Chain and Pulse X will be the most liquid DEX, and the reason that is so important is because at the point at which you become the most liquid DEX in the world, that means that even even if assets are off chain, they have to route through you to get the best price. So let's take the example of like a Bitcoin. What if Richard actually owned 10% of the Bitcoin in the world? Okay, what if, right? Then if that was provided with liquidity on Pulse X, what that would mean is that in order to get the best price for Bitcoin, even if you're buying on Coinbase would have to route the order through Pulse Chain and through Pulse X in order to execute the trade. And so if you can imagine this idea of like any of the PRC copies going to parity or becoming a bigger part of the market share, PDAI becoming a bigger part of the stablecoin or the crypto market share, any of this, it's going to have compound effects, and it's going to buy and burn more PulseX and make that Uniswap invention even more embarrassing for Hayden Adams.
Yeah, but I think Uniswap is coming, right? I think properly, like accepting the Pulse Chain ecosystem. That's what I mean, right? Like they did with BNB, like they did with every chain basically, including Hex, I think too.
But they won't be able to
Can I
compete.
remind everybody just quickly as well?
What?
The PDAI thing, as Maddie was talking about, all the liquidity and all those. If PDAI, the conspiracies are true, okay, Richard Hart will do a market cap trick. Okay, so I can't believe he's doing it. When Hex came out, no one had ever seen this. 95% of tokens to an origin address that's never going to dump, that just flushes you up on the ranking. Well, with PDAI, don't worry about how it all works. You just imagine one long stream of events. You end up with a TVL that says something stupid like 25 billion. Now, here's the best part, okay? We know there's a trick. We know. Doesn't matter, bro. We got 250,000 voices. We're going to tell them it's real. Okay, that's it. But in a bull market, no, it's war. It's war. Everyone's lying. Everyone's conning. They're trying to move into other coins out here. So that's what's actually... it's very exciting if you can do that, because just on DeFi Llama, we're like 25 billion. And everyone's going to go so upset. I can already see the essays. They're going, no, it doesn't count. It doesn't count. And we're like, it counts, bro. I'm selling my thing for $1. It counts. So, but this back and forth, it makes the conversation explode even more. And then they have to investigate, you know? And then you have Ivan going like, I don't know what Richard did, but yeah, pushing the button. Like, I don't know what he did. That's what it will come like, it's literally a magic trick. Okay. If he pulls this off, no one will understand what the hell happened. And there'll just be things flying around everywhere. But I think as you mentioned, you boys mentioned before, he's going to have to time it a bit, you know? So he's smart, man. He's probably going to have to wait until near the end of the cycle when everyone's the richest. And at the end of the cycle, everyone's the richest and they have the most FOMO built up because they've been in the wrong stuff. You know what I mean? And then Richard just opens the door. He's like, hey, dum-dum, here's a bridge. Come and take this free money, you know? So he's a genius when it comes to this marketing and pushing the buttons out here, right? So yeah, that's what's coming next year. That's why we're very excited, friends. All these, the buy and burn, all these other things, like it's literally on crack. It's gonna be exciting.
I think we have to be absolutely ready after the court case gets dropped in beginning of 2025 for some big surprises to come that are going to make it very easy to bridge into Pulse Chain, extraordinarily easy. Maybe a wallet, maybe something else, something we haven't thought of yet, because I think he has his eye on a target that none of us can even see yet, and there is going to be a massive inflow that I don't think any of us can expect right now. And I think PDI is just literally the little taste. It's just a little taste right now.
We have the infrastructure, like some of the things that are already built that just nobody's talking about. Like we already have like a native Pulse Chain wallet, the Internet Money Wallet. KG's got it set up so that you can bridge in with your credit card via the Internet Money Wallet. Like the RH Bridge works pretty awesome. There's zero fees to go from ETH to Pulse Chain, aside from the ETH cost of that, the actual transaction. You can bridge anything on ETH to Pulse Chain. If you want to bridge Aave from ETH to Pulse Chain and yield farm it, I know a guy. We could set that up. Like all these things are possible. The chain has so many possibilities people aren't looking at right now. You could be farming nearly any token on Ethereum on Pulse Chain. All the meme coins from Ethereum could be on Pulse Chain, moving around with with 1,000th of the fees. Everything is possible here. That Ethereum is going to top out when it's $300 per transaction, and people are going to be looking for a place to go. And they can literally bring their bags with them.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, when privacy pools comes to Pulse Chain, because it's coming, it's on Richard Hart's list, on his to-do list. We will be the first EVM chain with privacy. Think about that. Monero is the only place you can go and play in privacy right now. This will be an EVM chain with privacy. Whales can come over here and not be front run by other blockchain analysis, by other community members. They're going to love it. This is going to be a new playground for them. We have all the shiny toys Ethereum has at a fraction of the cost with privacy. That's when I think the real fireworks start.
Yeah. Yeah. That would
You know
be
what?
cool.
So there's a comment as well. Mrs. Sagaro, always got a negative Nancy. But I'm gonna help you. So Mrs. Sagaro, he literally said out here, I'm trying to find it. He said, "Do you guys honestly think Richard is gonna give hundreds of $1 million to you retards shilling this poop?" So he's probably talking about PDI. So don't forget, sir, there are information gaps here. So let me tell you something. 4 years ago, Gunther, Rector Michelle, Wallet DO1, and a couple of other dudes, they had about 500 grand in Hex. To $1 million, okay? Now, imagine you heard a stream where, imagine I had Richard Hart's grand plan, and I said, "Hello, sir, I've got a big lollipop for you. I'm going to sell the Ethereum top, and I'm going to rotate, and I'm going to pump Hex to 55 cents. I just broke my lollipop on stream. That's funny. So I'm going to pump Hex to 55 cents. So imagine you knew that. Now, here's the thing. You would never conceive of it. You know, at the top, Gunther had 120 million US. Rector Michelle had like 180 million. Wallet DO1 had 120 million dollars, like millions of dollars. They could have clicked sell, all of them, and it still happened. You see, so people, they don't sell as much as you think when it goes up. Okay, so if you have that limiting belief, you ended up getting it wrong 4 years ago. Okay, so these people are in the system. It happened before. Why can't it happen again? Also, you got to make an assumption as well. He probably owns a lot of wallets that we don't know about, and there's some tricks. There's some incentive stuff coming out that helps alleviate these things along the way. But we don't have the answers, bro. I know. Look, 99 times out of 100, if you rock up to a random stream of people saying, "My coins are going to go up 100x because this guy's going to buy them," I get it. Walk away. It's just with this one, bro, there's an information gap, okay? Richard Hart doesn't have insiders, okay? This is literally once in almost a lifetime, okay? There is no roadmap. He's got the roadmap. You know where it is? It's literally in his basement. If he has one, it's on the whiteboard. He does not have any. He doesn't have these secret insider guys who are all long and public display of any of these. Okay, so we're just guessing, bro. You're watching a guy literally. I got peg nipples. You know what I mean? Like, so we're just guessing, but history's repeating, bro. Have you been to the PDI Telegram? Okay, the PDI Telegram.
That's crazy.
They don't even know what slippage is, bro. They don't even know what slippage settings is. I looked at it. It's funny when I looked at it. Someone forwarded it to me. They go, "Bro, why are you in here? They're a bunch of retards." And I'm looking at it like, Dude, they don't know what slippage settings are. Let me show you something. You know hexagons? Okay, 4 years ago, this is how early you were to hex. 4 years ago, you know the origin address? People didn't know that the origin address's money was just in hex tokens. So when they put it into like Zorion Portfolio Viewer, they would see like $5 million. They thought origin address could pump the token. But see how it's so like, you can't pump the token. You own the supply of the token. But back then, no one knew, bro. It was so early. Now you're like, oh yeah, bro, all your money's in the token. You can't dump it. But back then, everyone was like, whoa, the origin address is going to pump it. But this is the funny part, bro. Hex started going up. And I remember seeing a narrative and people, just random people on YouTube, they're like, the OA is pumping. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, how's the OA pumping? It has all the token supply. It didn't matter, bro. The left curve is one. They're like, oh, I like this guy, and the OA is pumping. They got it totally wrong. It didn't matter. The narrative was just a fabrication. So that's why if you start to see a PDI at 3, 4, 5, 10 cents, and you're watching this, you start to see, man, these narrative stuff, it's not as important as you think. Hey, this guy might dump. This guy might do something. Like, man, remember, bro, Bitcoin, like, Michael Saylor, he's got $10 billion of leverage firma buying $100,000 Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Like, as things go up higher, you find more buyers. You actually do, which is, it blows your mind every time. So you get to see it firsthand. I hope it's in your bags. I hope it's in Pulse and PulseX and the core coins. You get to see it just as much. I believe we will, but I think it's all going to repeat next year.
Yeah, and the Telegram for the... Wait, did we just lose... No. Yeah, the PDI Telegram's hilarious. A lot of them don't even know what Pulse Chain is, or PulseX, or Hex. They are super excited about PDI for $1, you know. Fast Abdul said it well. It's just a fantasy. Pennies into $1. It's easy to say, just like Doge to $1 was. I think they're really hyped up about it. I do have a question.
And it's the faith part, man. It's the faith part that matters the most. Right.
A few people asked earlier in the stream,
right?
When we were looking at
as long
charts.
as there's a carrot.
Yeah, boys, you know I'm a PDI fudder as well. I'm a PDI fudder because I suggested PDI wouldn't peg this Christmas. I just suggested it. I go, he doesn't have to, and that's considered fun because you're taking away their dopamine dream. You're like, no, I was expecting. You're taking it. So that's how new you are, bro. It's funny.
Earlier in the stream, some people asked in the chat. They said, should we rotate all into PDI right now? We're getting these questions. We're really getting these questions from a lot of people who came in. We were doing charts earlier. What do you guys think?
Yes, do it.
Do it?
Man, just do it. I mean, I'm kidding, right? Like, I mean, like, maybe not, because they will do it, right? It's like they will do it. If they're asking that, they will do it. They will absolutely do it. I mean, they'll have to chase green candles, right? Even as execute.
I would
we're
say,
not immune to
I would
that.
say, get a tattoo of PDI first. Then
Get the tattoo
then
first.
see how you feel.
Not medical advice.
Are you guys seeing
Moderate
PDI
advice,
tattoos?
Come on.
I
Do a
get
little
concerned
bit,
when tattoos start
decide,
happening.
Figure it out. Do the math.
Yeah, we get a little concerned when tattoos start coming out. You know, we had the PDI song that hit X recently, and that was the latest correction. So, you know, we don't want to see tattoos yet.
Not
If
yet.
you
Not
if
yet.
you shouldn't touch your core coins, friends, to throw into this. Not
Yeah,
financial
I'm not
advice, but
not recommending that
I
to
know you
anybody.
guys
Yeah.
have money next year I know you do. I know you will be firmer buying stuff next year. That money pile, maybe it's a US account, whatever. That's what you throw into this, in case it takes longer than you think. But don't touch your core coins, because I know what happens, right? You touch your core coins once, you're like, oh, this other thing's moving too. The worst thing that'll happen to you is you make money on the PDI if you rotate your cores, because it will give you the dopamine hit thinking you're a genius, and you're going to keep rotating around, and you're going to get yourself into a big hole. Every Coinfessions Rex story, it all starts with, I made $1 million, then I was down to 600,000. And instead of stopping from 10,000, I wanted to make the 400,000 back. Now I'm homeless and I'm on my 3rd credit card and my wife's pregnant. You know what I mean? All the stories end like that. There's that first big loss. So yeah, be careful. Don't touch your core coins.
Yeah,
The
I
problem
agree.
is
It's a
every time I
good, that's
see
good advice, man. Yeah, for sure.
every time I see big bags swapping over because of FOMO, this happened when Titan X launched last year, and it was the next best thing. and we saw massive bags capitulating out of the cores at the bottom. And what happened right after that? Pulse chain started pumping to the effing moon right after they capitulate out of the cores. So you got to be very careful about those swaps, and that's why I don't ever touch. I'm like Sami. I never touch the cores. I follow the 90-10 rule, how Sami does. I have my bag of cores. I play my lottery tickets, and I bring new money in every single month, and I might put new money in, like PDI. Okay, that's fine, but I'm not touching my cores for that. So it's just be careful with those moves, man.
And don't quit your jobs, guys. Like, work until you have the $1 million in the bank account. Don't go off paper gains.
Well, this is my job.
Keep working. Yeah. Wow, fair enough.
Then keep working, bro. That's it. Keep doing it.
Take loans out on your PDI. It's possible
Exactly.
now. Yeah.
I have a way you could do that, sir. Give me 3 weeks.
Just 2 more weeks, guys. Just
Leverage.
2 more
I'm here.
weeks.
Dude, leverage,
I'm here,
baby.
but that's a stop loss, right? What do you guys think of that idea? Like the liquidity fork I'm building. If like for those of you who are scared, this creates a stop loss option for PDI, right? So you could take out some stable coin against it as a stop loss. If PDI gets cut in half in price, well, like your stop loss will get kicked in, and you'll get liquidated, but maybe you have more money than you had before. Now, if you're a true believer, then you might do the same and reinvest the funds into more PDI to double up your bag. There's ways to play this game.
Friends,
Pros,
next
though,
year,
do your research.
if the prices are up and I see any of you guys borrowing, I'm going to go over to each one of your houses. I'm going to break your legs myself, okay? Because in 2022, I had
We need
a
friends
heart
like you.
attack. Every single day. Waking up, and do you want to know what was on Twitter in June of 2022? They would show Justin's sons like 100,000 each. They would show the biggest whales, and they would show on chain on the MakerDAO and the big Aave things, and you could see on chain their big orders. And we were all shit scared because we knew if they got pinged, we're all finished. It was literally just finishing, okay? And they never got pinged. But dude, it was like 3 months of sleepless nights, okay? I promise you, you will get taken out, okay? There are sharks, friends. You know, you think like, everybody's just gambling. No, bro. Before anybody throws in like 2 million, they go check the chain and they go, oh, there's a guy here with another guy, and there's like $15 million to sell 10% lower, which means they get liquidated. No one stands in front of that train. And there are predators. They come and hunt them out, okay?
100%.
You will get hunted. People are going to tell you, no, we're never going to go down more than 90%. So I'm going to try warn you next year. Yeah. You probably won't even want to watch me, but I'll just have to encourage everyone because I promise you, man, like that's what crypto does. It goes so far and so high. It gets you so confident that, I can do anything I want. Yeah, bro, you can, but not really. And not in a bear market, you see? So we still don't have all of those out here. And the only people who actually win are the people who don't do the leverage. So
Yeah, I know people on Wall Street that have been doing this for generations. They're predators. They hunt each other, and you better believe they're doing it on the blockchain. It's actually even easier because there's more transparency. They can see everything, and they are hunting. They're waiting, and when it gets close, they're going to swoop in. Exactly like you just said. Yeah, you got to be careful.
Guys, do you remember at the end of 2018? Do you remember when Bitcoin broke $6,000? Do you remember when it broke under $6,000? Okay, I am in a prop firm. There's me. There's 30 guys. We broke it. Do you know that? We all broke it. All of us, we had cracked up leverage. That's what we were doing. We were hunting the stocks.
We were hunting,
Every time it went down, they kept trying to bang it up. So yeah, we were all hunting it. We had turbo leverage. We're all hunting the stops, and we all just kept crack. And then as all the liquidations came down, a couple of guys made like huge, like one guy made like 17 Bitcoin on that day. But unfortunately, they sell it all to cash out at like $5,000 because they never believed, right? So that's what it was like. We sit there. We're literally just hunting because you know it on the chart. You're like, oh, there's a lot of stops on here. And the worst thing you ever want to do is be like, waking up every day for a year and you're like in this thing and like you had your hopes and dreams in here, man. Because that's BitMEX, you know what I mean? Like Arthur Hayes is buying a Ferrari with your money. But when you have your hopes and your dreams and you told your friends and family, and then you're like, damn, man, I'm playing with borrowed money. The borrowed money, yes, it's useful, but not really. Okay, 99%. It's how it starts, bro. It starts with you take one bite of that cherry, and everything. it ends up being full disaster. You end up on
You get
Coinfish and
addicted.
Track, man.
You get addicted to it. Yeah, 100%. And you'll slip up somewhere, and they're waiting for you. They're just waiting right there. And I'm telling you, it's firms, just like Somi said. I know these guys. I met these guys in New York, in Manhattan, and in Miami. They love this stuff. They live for it. They love taking you out, and they have no
There's
emotions.
a big difference between 30 times leverage and 20% borrowing ratio, right?
Okay,
Like, they're not the same thing.
Well, it starts with 20%, Fast Abdul.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
why it
drug,
starts.
yeah, I'll give you that.
Everyone says
Gateway
just one hit. Everyone says just one hit. Okay.
Fair enough.
No one stops at 20%, bro. No, I know. Yeah, technically,
Just one line.
technically you're meant to, but no one does. No one does. It always, like, because you don't know how far things can possibly go down. You don't know. See, it's not you that's the problem. Okay, it's not you. It's the other guy. Okay, so you don't know. Like, let's say Pulse Chain's up 60x from today. Okay, you don't know that there's a guy with a $50 million net worth, but he's got a $25 million loan. You don't know that. You know what I mean? Like, he's cheering with you today. Let's say it's like next year we're going up, but he's gonna be your worst enemy in the bear market because he's gonna disappear. You never hear from him again, and he gets hunted down, and then it cascades down. And then, like, you think Richard's not watching that stuff? Richard's watching that stuff. He goes, all right, let's sit back. Let's let all the leverage flush out, bro. It is the worst feeling in the world because you're a believer, but you're forced out. It's the worst feeling in the world. Yeah, that's why, man, for the past 2 years, I've been spamming everybody. Don't be a little bitch. Buy more. You buy more now. You can't go back in time. Once we're up there, you can't go back in time. You got to buy in more now. I mean, understand, friends, like, if crypto goes to zero, I'm like, public enemy number one. Everyone wants to arrest me because, hey, we got into a scam. But no one wants to say that because you take a big reputation here. So it's easy to say, talk a little bit of leverage and do a bit of this and do a bit of that. It's awesome to say that on the way up. But yeah, so you guys, you got that picture now. We don't want to scare anybody. Like, you're long now. It's going to be fine. But the game will change next year. You'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of greeds about to come in the market. You guys smash those likes buttons. We're going almost on 4 hours. I'm jumbling words. I'm going to take two really quick, gentlemen. We're going on 4 hours. You guys smash those like buttons. Oh, you guys are getting a lot of alpha. I'm going to stretch. For 1 second. I'll be right back.
Hey, Mr. Sam Horowitz, I was thinking about this, bro. He asked, was Richard Hart's last stream on Christmas last year? Yeah, I was thinking about it. Like, he made that video, and he's like, he repeated everything. I remember he was a bit bearish on the stock market, but it was a fake Christmas because you're like, man, are you on the run? Are we gonna go up? Did we get scared? that's all I'm thinking, bro. We're like, what happened? What happened to the throne, bro? Where's the push? Where's the plush? Where's your spinning Rolex watches? What happened? What happened? It's going because you just don't know. This is the funny part, right? I'll share something with you guys. When that video came out, okay, remember I uploaded it and I got messaged from like some Ethereum maxi dudes, and they were like, "Hey, dude, your founder guy is on the run. So obvious. You're like, he's got you held you captive. Look at he's obviously like, I'm just throwing all this bad stuff. You remember, I'm on Christmas, man. I'm reading these messages. I'm like, you know what, bro? You're a fat neck bid. I'm not listening to you, but it was a bit of coke because I'm like, you know what, man? But they're in Ethereum, so I'm the retard. So even I have that doubt. But I said, nah. They can't be wrong. They can't be right. I said, they can't be right. I go, screw them. Look at them. Screw them. And it's just, look, you couldn't have picked the story events, but that's how it happens, man. Like, in these deepest and dark moments, that's when they come and strike. They come and strike. That's why we're going to have the polar opposite, by the way. You will maybe I'll be naked on stream or something. We're going to have the polar opposite of that. Like, wow, we're going to infinite prices. That will happen as well. So it's funny, sir. So thank you for that question about Richard Hart streaming next. Maybe he'll do one this year. It's a few weeks. So he just does one of the recordings. It'll be interesting because now he has to update his view on the stock market. And by the way, just imagine Richard says, we could do 14,000x, but I just want him to say that. But we could do it. And then, I know it's like it's destruction a year and a half ago when you're going down, but that's all people want to hear. So yeah. Anyway, any other questions, sir? Anyone wants to read anything else? You can continue.
But I guess, like, just be prepared if that doesn't happen, right? If it doesn't show up, like, in video, like we all want, right? It is what it is.
I think January is where we're going to see.
We'll go without him, but it'd be nice to have him. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think January we'll see it,
Yeah.
regardless if he comes in December or not. Doesn't matter. I think we'll see it in January. I'll tell you a quick story, Sami, about like some faith in like losing my resolve. Like that Christmas video shook your resolve a little with the Ethereum maxis reaching out to you. Literally, man, I had just moved my family to Puerto Rico, went all in on Pulse Chain. I was back in Arizona packing my shit. And that's when the SEC hit Richard Hart with the lawsuit. And I was like, I moved my family into a foreign country, went all in on this freaking blockchain, and it's going to zero. I still moved back to Puerto Rico, and I kept firing bullets in at the bottom because I felt like that was God's plan for me. But that's where my resolve was shaken the most. It was tough, man, because I had made a big decision. And I tell you what, between your shows and Randy Hilarski's, I used to watch Randy every single night like clockwork. You guys helped me keep my resolve and keep the faith.
You see,
You're
man,
welcome,
we're
sis.
helping people.
Yeah, we got hit by that SEC thing, within the first hour of when I started driving to Austin, Texas, because we were doing an in-person event there. So it feels like a lot of this court stuff has been timed around the conference stuff. Okay, so that was the biggest in-person event that I did that year. They hit us like, you know, the day before or weekend before or whatever. It was that Monday that we got.
Dude, I remember I was
with the SEC
standing in
case.
my kitchen in Arizona at 7 a.m. and I was looking at my phone and I was like, fuck, I just moved to Puerto Rico and I went all in. I'm like, I'm going forward. I'm going forward. There's no going back.
And
now it's like
and then
my portfolio is great.
it was then it was right after Christmas with the Hex conference online that I do every year on the same dates, January 6th through 9th, and it was the last day of the conference, the 9th, when Richard's lawyers showed their hand and basically said, we're the best lawyers in the world. We represent Elon Musk, and Richard Hart is going to win this case. And so you got to see, like, you know, then we went on a run in between January 9th and the middle of March, or basically it was when the Pulse Chain Tour did their event, was the top on the day for PulseX, hitting sack rate. And so it had done like a 10x there during those 2 or 3 months. So yeah, there's a lot that gets a lot of this action happens around these events.
It's remarkable.
You know when it
how
happened
all
as well.
Yeah, go ahead, Tommy.
When it happened as well, and the SEC thing, I had a lot of unread messages because I was making videos and everyone's reaching out, and obviously I'm scared shitless as well. I opened up this one message, this Ethereum guy, and it was a message. I hadn't replied. He'd messaged me like 2 months prior, and you don't understand. Oh, these are the biggest kick in the nuts. He said something like, still haven't been convinced Richard's scam you all. You got like that Stockholm syndrome thing. How far does the price have to go down for you to finally wake up? He said that, and I read it after the SEC thing. So he messaged me from before, and I just had this sinking feeling. I was like, bro, if you're in this room, I'll knock you. I just closed that room like that. That's how low it was. Then like 2 days later, OKEX delists us, and I was like, bro, you weren't even meant to list us in the first place. Now, you know what I mean? Like it was all of these things just capitulating down. So remember those moments. Like, man, we've seen things in market. Things are really spooky, the simulation stuff. You see that down moment. There has to be one of that Newton law, right? The Newton law of like orange juice. There's an equal and opposite reaction the other way. So we have to feel like infinite boss king somewhere. There has to be a moment like that. I don't know what it's going to take. You never know, man. Like, you never know, like Eric Trump buys Pulse. You know what I mean? Like something really like, dude, this blew my expectations. Something out there that I'm waiting for that moment. I hope we're 100x higher. Like, because it happened to every other coin. Every other coin. Look at XRP, by the way, man. XRP, you're like, oh, at least we're not the XRP guys. Can't say it anymore, bro. They went and racked the. You know what I mean? Like, we're next. We're next. We're gonna come in 2025.
I tell my community all the time, we just in a movie, the script has already been written. It's just up to us to participate and lean in, play all out, and play our role. The movie's already been written, man. The script's written.
let's go $16,000 ETH. I think that's going to be what I'm looking for. Is I know Richard's got a big bag of ETH, and when ETH hits $16,000 each, what is he going to do?
That's actually a PDI peg for everyone to know. Around 15k. If you remove his secret wallets, known wallets, the redemption required, some stable, like make the assumptions, 15k is that critical point, you know. But I don't talk about it much. Why? In PDI, guys, if you don't tell them we're gonna peg in about 16 days, it's FUD. So I'm like, bro, how'd you make it into crypto? You're literally in the most volatile thing of all time, bro. We don't even know if we flip a coin. In a normal world, it could be heads or tails, but in crypto, it's heads, tails, or it's like a hand grenade and it explodes. Like there's that wild card in crypto.
But Sonny, this
that
is like a safe
pushes
space.
up.
We've been like we've been saying that
We have no
we
balance.
believe here that the peg is gonna be slow. It's gonna take time, right? It's not gonna happen like in one day. I mean, it could happen, but yeah, probability wise, it's a very low one. So, I mean,
So the
it's a safe
414
space. You can say that it's fine. I don't think people will kill you.
It's a safe.
I
It's the
think
after
so.
hours, man.
Maybe they will.
You know, I mean, the 414 dev has said that they expect the peg to just happen suddenly. And I think Decentralized Me also agrees with that sentiment. Now, chat, what do you guys think? Do you think the ped's just going to happen suddenly? I mean, I think market dynamics need to come into play. I see it stair-stepping its way up. Maddie and Corey, we definitely didn't hear your opinion on this. Do you think the peg would happen suddenly, or do you think it's going to stair-step its way up, in the same way Hex moved up, as it's moving very similar right now?
Go ahead, Corey.
I mean, I think it's going to happen just how like Hex did, because it's market dynamics. Market dynamics is what's controlling PDI. I mean, I'm not big into the whole Richard behind this is going to use the MakerDAO. That's not what I believe. I believe it's all narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I believe there are things that can be built on it to help, create the peg. But I think it's just market dynamics, man, and we're going to see it shoot up just like Hex did. Now, what stays there and how long it stays there, I have no idea.
Crypto Ewok says needs to be organic. Yeah, that's something we've been saying.
It's got to be going to be organic.
DJ
Think
Khaled
about
says,
Richard Hart, boys. Would Richard Hart, if he knows you Jeets want to Jeet at 5 cents and 10 cents and 20 cents,
yeah.
I don't think he's going to leave a big bid at $1 for you. I think he's going to let them out. But look at
Exactly.
the prices are higher from now.
Yeah. DJ Khaled says, I think the peg will happen in the second altcoin wave in Q4, when the meta changes from meme coins to DeFi 3.0, having PDI as a cycle 1 unicorn, creating a new category in coin market cap. Oh, that's interesting. Creating a new
That's
category.
actually very similar to mine, my guess. Yeah.
You break that down. What are these?
Yeah,
the
so-
new category?
If you look at Hex topped at like 5 cents wave 1, and then it did the nuclear run in wave 2 of 2021. So
Right.
I guessed there's a speculative run wave 1 in the first half of next year, and everyone thinks it's over when we stop. Okay, the dopamine gets cut off. Everyone's like, what? There's no 1,000x. We're down. All the core coins and everything. It maybe didn't go as high as everyone thinks. But then the secret switch gets activated. And that's why I kind of also believe by the end of next year, there'll be some like massive type of news where it's like, it's so hard to leave crypto. Almost like it coincides with this PDI, Richard Hart stuff, where like a country comes out and says, you know what? We're actually dumping all our gold and we want your imaginary Bitcoin Ponzi, like something where you're like, oh my gosh, this is like a black white swan, right? But it'll all be a scam probably at the end by the 4-year cycle. So concurrent to that, I just guessed, right? September 2021, Hex peaked. Maybe PDI gets there, 2021. And then we have the final mania, October, November, December. I don't know why. I felt like it would be like something like that, but that would probably be, if you got to understand, friends, if you keep expecting things tomorrow, if there's one Jeet who dumps 80%, you get really, really panicked. Okay, so if you're always thinking next year and next year and next year, when it comes, you're like, oh, cool, I could have waited forever. That's the person who survives, right? So yeah, I want to hear Maddie. Maddie, do you have any thoughts on any of this? Do you think Richard will time the same things? What do you think?
Yeah, I think part of it is going to be based on participant behavior, more than just like how much time has passed, and some of that's going to be related because, you know, people go through these market psychology phases where they become more and less rational and everything. But for example, I think you can look at some of the behavior on chain, like who has more than 100 million PDI, and like what is their behavior showing Richard or showing the other people who are studying the system. And so I think you know, a lot of it's going to depend on that. But I would also expect that the timing to be gradual and to come down again to this idea that I keep going back to, which is people bridging in value from external chains. So I think, you know, if we saw something like you know, the farms, the incentive token farms starting to reward exotic pairs.
Yeah.
That would
cool
be
pairs.
something that I would see as happening first, and then in crypto, things can happen very suddenly based on Richard's master plan. Basically, we know that there are things that you could also look out for that might be extremely unpopular, but best for the long-term health of the system. We've seen the OA act like time and time again to do something unpopular that people ended up supporting eventually, but not right away. And so, so I think even at 3 cents, at 2 cents, we're starting to see what the behavior is of all the people who own, the original copies and the forked copies. So, you know, USDC has a lot of value. I was holding $7,000 worth of USDC on chain when the fork happened. And so that's worth like a couple $100 now, right? That's not going to move the market, but there are some big players, and you know, the market needs to see how those big players are going to act. And you know, if people wanted to speed the process along, those people on chain, they could there might be things that they could do to prove themselves.
Yeah, 100%.
But I think it'll be gradual based on the behavior of the participants, unless a sudden shock to the system has better game theory. And I can't exactly think of how that would be.
Exactly.
But I
how
wouldn't
would that
rule it
come
out.
into play? Now, in the chat, we have a DJ Khaled's in there. We had Ewok, Neptune, and also we had Coexistent Steven. Maybe Coexistent Steven might have an answer for it. I know, Steven, you said in your comment that you agree also with the organic movement up, with market dynamics, allowing them to play out. But, you know, Maria Rahel had said in the chat that they're expecting an immediate peg. Can you give us any insight on why they said that, or did they give any clarity on why they said that? Because it would be good to know what we're missing out on in terms of the game theory on that.
It could be. I'm not sure, right? But it could be related to the belief that, you know, the OA is gonna just add collateral to the PMaker vault, right? In a large quantity, let's say, of tokens. So could be
There's a
related.
lot of belief going on, I think.
Sure.
A lot of belief? Is that what?
No.
Yeah.
I'm saying it could be related to the belief, like, you know, you believe that the OA is going to do something, like, you know,
right,
the
right.
vault is gonna drop the collateral, right? The X or whatever, right?
Yeah, the 414 did
You know,
say that.
interesting. I watched Coexistence Steve, and I watch him a lot. So Steve, I know you're watching out there. I love you, sir. Got my pegs on for you. So I independently looked at PDI, and I looked at it from the perspective of Richard Hart. I'm like, man, friends, Richard wouldn't buy a sandwich for Dr. Hexologist. Do you think he's going to let you peg in 15 seconds and let you cheat at $1 when he knows you're going to cheat at 10 cents? You know what I mean? Like, think about it.
I don't think so. I don't think so, yeah.
Excellent.
Makes sense.
But here's the thing, okay? The thing is, Stevie and me had the same perspective. Where like, if we go up over time, this is the thing. Why does Richard want the natural speculation process to happen? It's because the whole idea of the stable coin is that it's your bear market thing that you hold. If you're in the process of cheating for profit, it defeats the whole purpose. He basically wants people, I think, to earn it. To basically go, you know what? I've held this for so long.
Yeah.
I now want to be here forever. It's kind of like you're literally Moses leading through people through 40 days of the desert. You go finally make it to the promised land. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I never want to leave this promised land. I 40 days of hell for it. So that's what I'm guessing. And by the way, he did the same thing with Hex, right? We're all like staked forever. Okay, people don't want to leave. So, however, Maria's thing is it is like it's a retailer's wet dream. Oh, we peg tomorrow. So look, you don't even need it to peg, bro. But guys, you're gonna price in the peg in your mind if we just get to 20 cents. Okay.
Right.
When it's at when it's at 5 or 10 or 15. You're already like, dude, it's happening. It's so happening. It's just a matter of time, right? So you don't actually need to wait for that $1 mark. All these theories and stuff, I can almost guarantee Richard had a whiteboard. He looked at every scenario. He's picked the best one. Okay, I guarantee whatever he's done is he's picked the best one. But also, if you're curious, the longer we wait for the peg, the lower the Ethereum price can be. Okay, so think about it like that. So if we peg tomorrow, we need like a $30,000 ETH. I think, without Richard's exogenous wants. If we let the Jeets out over time, you can get that down maybe like $10,000 ETH. Okay, so that's only something Richard knows. Okay, he's figured it out. He knows the redemptions of Circle and Tether. And we don't know, bro. That's why all the people on the sidelines are, tell us the answer. Tell us the answer. Go, bro, he doesn't even reply to us on Twitter. Why is he going to tell me anything? It's just like the Hexicans, okay? Imagine going back 4 years ago and the Hexicans asking him, please tell us when you're going to sell the Ethereum top so we can buy. He's like, no, bro, screw you. Go stake. I'll see you when I want to see you. That's it. So, and by the way, people respond positively to that. So you're either on board or you're not. And it's so binary, right? So it's so clear. The retailers understand. They're like, can it go to $1, sir? Please, can it go to $1? And I'm like, bro, I don't know. They're like, oh, but this guy said it can go to $1 tomorrow. Like, I didn't say anything. It's like you're telling him Santa's not real. Like, I'm long with you. Just like, look, if Santa doesn't give you a $1 pegging present, then the Easter Bunny will, okay? And if the Easter Bunny doesn't, you know what I mean? We got 4th of July. You know what I mean? Like, just the carrot on the stick, So it's going to be fun no matter what.
Okay, so this is the message. And there's more. I can't find the other one that's more complete. But so Maria says, everyone should have at least 3 million in P stables ready. Freedom to win. Wonder BFF price discovery after. Maria says, with 3 million out of range of most noobs, I don't think RH has any reason to keep from going straight to 1-to-1. Woo woo. So.
Yeah,
Except for math.
Look at what he
Math.
wrote. Like, he wrote the things, right? He wrote that everyone should have at least 3 million in these tables ready. But ready for what, right? To sell. That's the point, right? So,
Yeah.
That's why I kind of agree with him in the sense that if there are not, if there aren't sellers, right? If everybody's sold, right? The people who could have hurt the price chart.
Yeah.
Then yes, like sure, like that could happen faster. But again, I think that's going to be a slower process, right?
I mean, another thing
Yeah,
that
I
can
think
allow
so.
the pegging to happen sooner is for people to remove the excessive amount of liquidity that right? Because then it takes less
Okay.
money to move the price up. So
Okay.
that's one of the things that my prediction of what happens when we get closer to peg is that people are rotating out of liquidity positions because because they're seeing other stuff move. And so if people FOMO into other things, if keep their PDI
Yeah,
and
I thought about that.
they swap whatever paired with for something outside of the PDI liquidity web, then that can allow PDI to run higher, faster. Or
It
essentially
could run higher and faster, but if it did hit the dollar and people are trying to exit and the liquidity is 90% lower so that it could hit the dollar,
Yes.
then it's going to fall 90% faster too, right? So
Yep.
you have to have that backup somewhere, because the total number of PDI tokens on chain won't have gone down. So you need to have it all.
But there's inflation caused by just creating liquidity between two things. That's a form of inflation because they're interchangeable for each other. And so that's a critical part of like Hart's law. And remember, another thing that can happen in this whole dream scenario, the magic carpet ride, is that the market is incentivized to have, let's say normal or thick liquidity, and then the farm stops. So everybody like stops providing liquidity, and then the price goes up, 100x or 1000x higher, and then the OA like pegs everything at that higher price, and that's something that it checks out in the sense that then you can't go lower because you've created such thick liquidity at a higher price, which is a little bit counterintuitive, but that's part of the models that we play out. Is like at some point when you decrease the liquidity, it actually decreases the inflation. It's a deflationary event. And you can see that with Nvidia. You saw that with X when it did its amazing run. Like all of what I just described played out, minus the part where there's thicker liquidity at the top. But you had people removing liquidity, and the price could move up much more.
I do think slow makes the most sense because you also want big players to enter. There's just better game dynamics for it to happen slowly. It's just so much better, unless like there's just something we just don't understand at all. Crypto Neptune rementioning, big clips are going to come in. I think around 10 cent, man. It's going to get nutty. Just in general in the Pulse chain, it's going to get crazy, gents. I hope you guys are ready.
Richard Hart.
It's going to be
Richard
crazy.
Hart might do a wallet sack, and everyone throws in the PDI for it.
Oh.
Okay, so that's a Richard Hart move, by the way. That's a Richard.
That'd be a great.
Go back and watch. There's a Hexologist stream where he makes a meme. Dr. Hexologist. I love Dr. Hexologist. He makes this meme. It was something like it's a picture of Richard. He's like, first he makes your coin go up 10,000x, then he makes you give it away. And it was just like it's like Dr. Hexologist. He's like, oh Richard, like it's one of those funny looking up to him, and this is from years ago, and I'm like, that was around the sacrifice. It was 2021, and I'm like, I don't know why that sticks to me. Hearing this conversation with you guys, I'm like, that's such a Richard move. Put it up there because actually that proves what I said. There'll be more buyers for PDI at $1 than sellers because when it's up there, it's so valuable. They're like, oh, I don't want to sell it and bridge out. I want to use it for points. The next thing. That's like the game, going deeper in the game. It's like Inception out here. But that's why just look out if he gets a lot of haters out there because like
that's an RH move.
Friends, can you imagine what chance do they have when I'm making videos going, you missed Hex, you missed Pulse Chain, you missed PulseX, you missed the unbacked Ponzi stablecoin that literally started at 0, you missed the fat guy twerking. We can't help you at this point, bro. We even throw ink at you that you could farm for free. You missed that too. Now you got a small stable. I'm gonna cheat.
That's an RH move. Yeah. 100%. 100%. It would be huge. Get ready. Hell yeah.
Well, guys, I'm hopping off. Thanks for having me up. My internet's lagging so bad anyways. Puerto Rico internet sucks. So I'll see you guys. Peace
Corey,
out.
it's a pleasure having you. Thanks for coming by, man.
Good to see you, Corey.
Man. Appreciate it, guys.
God bless you, Corey. Can't wait to see more of your shows, sir.
Yes.
You got a lot of questions and comments here. It's awesome, showing everyone's perspective. Everyone's really bullish, guys. I'm like, you can't mid curve it, man. But look, I want to live in a world where people care about PLS and like PulseX's buy and burn and Hex, and I want to live in that world. Unfortunately, we live in the world where people go, huh, can it go to $1? Can this thing go to $1? That's all I hear, bro. All day, every single, no one cares about anything else. And here's the thing. You watch any of our videos, you're like, hey, sounds contrarian. I'm like, bro, don't mid-curve, okay? 85% of the time, yes, run. This is the 15% of the bull market part where you see those excited people, they're buying this thing, there's imaginary unbacked stablecoin. It's rising. It's literally rising. And then they're going to go tell other people. They're like, oh, Bitcoin's at $100,000. I heard crypto's going back. Donald Trump likes crypto. During this PDI thing, bang. That's literally the ignition. That's why we go parabolic, okay? But when it happens, everyone's in disbelief. So that's why we're entering that right now. No one believes it can happen again. Once it starts happening, you'll see, man. You'll see people who wouldn't put in $50 to buy the bottom, they're going to be throwing in like 35 grand. Are you sure it can go to $1? I get nervous. I'm like, bro, what am I meant to tell? I don't know.
It's a perfect narrative. It's a perfect onboarding narrative. It's like they already know, the final price, right? Like you want to know that information, right? When you're buying something, you like like when you were buying Hex in like earlier 2020, for example, how much should you pay like to know like the top, right? 50 cents, right? Like they know it's going to $1, right? So it's a perfect onboarding coin, I guess, in that sense.
And they
You know,
really
pumpkins as
like,
well.
they have commitment. They believe, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's so easy, right? It's so fucking easy. You already
Can we
have
just
that
remind
price
everybody,
target.
before every single big run, there was no coin market cap sector. You know, friends, you know when DeFi came out, there was no sector, bro. It was just, you have XRP, you have privacy, Bitcoin, there was nothing. DeFi in 2020, after the big run, now there's DeFi sector. There was no category. You know when SHIB went up 250x in 2021, MillionX and Doge, there was no sector. Do you know there was a protest? Okay, there was a protest by the mid-curvers. They did not want to have the meme coin category because they said no one would ever take crypto seriously again. There was no meme. Okay, and they went up the most. Gaming, everything that was a first cycle unicorn had no sector. This is literally the P-Dye, no sector, bro. What do you call it? You're like, looking at, what is it? It's like UFO lands down here. What do you call it? Is it us? Is it us from the future? Is that from the past? You got no idea. That's why I joke and I go, the world's first future speculative stablecoin. We've never seen anything like it. And trust me, you don't have to know how it ends. All you know is that they've never seen anything like it. They don't know where the roof is. Okay, that's it. That people just run in. There's no PTSD. They don't know how to price it. And then you get all of the naysayers. They write the anti-FUD articles, and they don't know they're building up more. They're building up more mind share for you. They think they're trying to damage it, but they end up attracting a lot more people. So that's why I'm just showing you this is happening like right now. There's no sector. What do you even call it? You have no idea what to call it. It's a thing. Is it a stable coin? Not yet. Speculative, kind of.
It's true.
It's a meme coin with a stablecoin feature, I guess.
Yeah. He is going to get all the attention in 2025. Gentlemen, 2025 is going to be the year of Pulse Chain, and it's going to be amazing. Maddie, I do have a question for you. If we're going to do market dynamics, and it's just a meme coin right now, there's no pegging at play. You're not going to know about that at 50 cents, 60 cents, 70 cents. It's still going to be technically just a meme. What's stopping it from going past $1, and how high past $1 could it go? And what are the pros and cons of him? You know, what's the best move to peg it once it goes past $1, or when it's at 90 cents, or you know what I mean? Or do you let it just find its own equilibrium and then peg it after it's done that? Or do you think it just could run and run until all the sell pressure is gone?
I got some juicy stuff for you here. So, you know, I'm a little ignorant on like the mechanics of the P-Dye ceiling, but I think that there are like redemption mechanisms in place, or at least proposed to like stop it from going higher than $1. Whereas with like P-wrapped Bitcoin, that's something Richard would brag about and does brag about. That doesn't have the ceiling.
That could go
now.
high, yeah.
Now, when it comes to like the mechanics of like getting to a peg, like you know, I don't like bringing this up too much, but I've written about it extensively. Is like the Maddie token is something that the idea was to like go to $20 and stay there. And the concept basically is you don't even need new buyers in order for this to occur. You just need the collateral to go high enough. And you don't have to make any promises because basically, you know, if you follow the concept of like not your keys, not your coins, like, you know, people don't own something unless it's in their wallet, right? So and the very strict on like what you can say about like, you know, promises. But this idea of like, what if, you know, Maddie went from $1 to $20 was where it started. And then it went basically I've written tons of essays on Twitter to explain like basically how, you know, there's an advantage to keeping the money on the side, like kind of Richard is doing with the sacrifice funds and stuff like there are all these mechanics that become clear once you actually start playing out the experiment in real life, instead of just like kind of just imagining like, I don't know, imagining like how centralized or kind of like how your fantasy is might be different. And that's what we see in all these scenarios where the OA is acting. I know I've learned a lot more about what Richard is thinking, basically just from putting myself into similar situations. And I'm telling people not to buy Maddie token because you basically missed the opportunity that was there once upon a time. But for the haters, I can see all of the funds on chain are still there and have already done a 5x from when quote unquote the liquidity was lowered. And so that that's something that seems pretty cool. And it's maybe like a 3x. It's maybe a 3x away from being at $20 and being over collateralized at $20. And so when you have an asset that isn't just it's not just relying on like a new buyer, but it's relying on basically being over collateralized by PulseX or Deci or Ink Farms or whatever it is, that becomes something that's way more tangible to achieve the dynamics that you're looking for.
Just so everyone knows, if DAI goes, let's say DAI went to $1.10. It actually had a period when it went to $1.10. You are incentivized to go mint it and then dump it down, okay, to bring it down. So I think the loan rate will go like really, really cheap. It's like handing out free loans. Like, oh, we're too expensive. Let's pretty much do that. So you can go and basically do that. And if it drops too low, well, the theory is, of course, and it works, but like it starts all over collateralized. The theory is that people who have the debt, they don't want to lose their collateral. So they would like to buy your 50-cent PDAI, for example, because they don't want to lose whatever's in the vault and all this other stuff. But so trust me, like everything's being tested, man. Like that's why Richard's using it, man. Like he went through Zombie Virus, he went through Silverbank and all these other things. Like Richard doesn't. He's not. He always laughs. He goes, "Don't be that retarded guinea pig for everyone else. Take the stuff that works." It's just kind of funny, man, because took the stuff that works and he made a unicorn out of it. Like he inverted it. You just so rare. Make it out works. Make it out work. Like just
he's always
it's
loved
not.
PDAI. Yeah, I mean DAI. He's always loved DAI. Yeah.
There's actually an incredible moment in crypto history that almost nobody has ever talked about, which is when when the sacrifice funds of Pulse Chain basically backstopped all of crypto when there was the Silicon Valley Bank collapse. Basically, we were watching on chain. Tangent and I were streaming while it was happening. That basically the sacrifice funds stopped the stable coins out there that were depegging, stopped it from depegging. And if those had depegged over that weekend that Coinbase stopped redeeming and everything was falling apart, and Operation Choke Point 2.0 might have succeeded if it wasn't for the Pulse Chain sacrifice funds. So I'm sure when Richard goes on Joe Rogan, or like Roger Ver today, hated Bitcoiner, was on he was on Tucker Carlson today. You're gonna see, once he gets that media exposure, I hope somebody points that out.
Yeah, Roger likes Richard as well. Roger likes Pulse Chain. You gotta remember, friends, as well. So this is crazy to me. In August, I reported when MakerDAO renamed to Sky and they made the new Soy stablecoin and they put a blacklist function on there. There's an actual blacklist on it, the new DAI, and no one cared. I reported on it. I'm like, why isn't anybody caring? But now that PDAI goes up, everyone's like, oh my gosh, MakerDAO's doing this. Like, bro, this is 4 months ago. Where you been? And I realized, the price going up of PDAI has now opened your eyes to the product market fit. So trust me, friends, every time Richard did a big move, I was like, nah, not gonna work. Wait a minute, he's the billionaire, not me. I would always think that. And then 2 years later, it plays out. And like I said, Bitcoin, BlackRock BTC, Ethereum, they all eat bugs. You know what I mean? I know you have MakerDAO going the way of the soy. I don't know if he knew it was gonna happen, or it's just like, you know what, I want to be a trillionaire. It could be a bit of both. I don't know. It's just we're blessed to do that. I was like, literally today, I was filling up a cold glass of water, okay?
Ooh.
And I was thinking to myself, do you understand? If he got one thing wrong with any of this, we're all screwed. One minting thing, one bug. I forgot to MEV this. One guy's got too much of this coin. Dude, I can't believe, when I was in that chat and they're trying to figure out the AMM bot, after 3 hours, man, I was getting tired reading it. And I'm just spamming the PDAI emojis everywhere. After 3 hours, they were like, oh, silly me thinking Richard messed up. I'm like, bro, he's telling you to buy his freaking secret coin, you retard. I can't say that because they're like, well, but if I lose money, see what I mean? Like it's not an accident, bro. It's like
screaming.
Elon Musk. You're like, oh, is his 50th rocket gonna land? Like, bro, that's why, friends. When you become a mid curve, there's almost no escape. Now you need to see every answer. Now you want to know the future. We don't know the answer, bro. I'm telling you, 40 cycles repeating. Donald Trump, Matrix dodge, double bubble, old season is now on. See, all these things are appearing, and like, it just, I was gonna troll everyone once, but I thought this is too much to go. You just put a picture. Richard is going live. You know that thing, that notification. But I'm like, people would actually buy on the prices, but that's all. Imagine you just saw that. That's just like explosion out here. So like we have all these things going for us, man. Other communities don't. That's why like you have so many 100%. Advantages. You don't even have to believe in a paganism, friends. You don't have to, but
Yeah, you don't have to believe in the paganism right now. And our other big P stable is this one, because I don't think there's any debate about this one going well past parity. I think that's in the cards for this one. And I think that's going to be the second biggest attention getter after PDI, is when this goes, when doubles the price of real BTC. I mean, I don't even know what the reaction is going to be like from Greater Crypto Land. What do you guys think? How high could this go? Wrapped?
Has it been keeping the pricing that it had where it reached parity in like PDI terms?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like it was worth about 100,000 PDI at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Has it been keeping that, or
no idea?
No idea.
It's been. I check that ratio all the time. So what I think is actually happening.
The ratio. You want to see it?
Yeah. Richard isn't doing an immediate peg. Over time, liquidity is getting added over time. So the wrapped Bitcoin. So I'll call it purple Bitcoin. Purple Bitcoin versus the PDI ratio, purple die. The ratio's approximating the real price, so you can see it over time, but there's still some volatility and stuff. But it's when I looked at it, I'm like, man, it has to be him, bro, because that's exactly what it would do. It's like, I'm not going to show my hands in 1 second and let the Jeets take advantage of it. I'm going to add liquidity slowly over time. I'm very bullish on that purple Bitcoin. It's also classical Richard, by the way. Like, hey, I got an unbacked purple Bitcoin and it's worth more than your BlackRock BTC. Just double their price just to send the message. Just imagine something like that happens. But by the way, just let you know, also retailer normie signal alert. My cousins are accumulating purple Bitcoin as well. They want that because they really feel like they're owning a Bitcoin. I'll put the sign across. This happened during the week. I was so shocked. One of them had a problem with MetaMask. I checked inside the wallet. I'm like, oh, you've been accumulating purple Bitcoin? He's like, yeah, I want to own one. And I go to a Bitcoin. I promise. Yeah, and there are a lot of coins, the Dick with Bar and the Tangangs, but the PDI and the purple Bitcoin, I'm telling you, man.
That's the mindset that
you get on one Bitcoin for what is it today? I'm too old. I can't read that.
A couple $1,000.
Yeah, I think about 1,500 for a purple Bitcoin, 1,400.
Quite the bargain.
For the real Bitcoin.
90% off. Nice.
So I mean, one of the things that you can look at is how many Bitcoin free claimed for Hex. And if I remember correctly, it was the greatest number of Bitcoin as a percentage that had ever free claimed for anything. There were other things at the time that were very popular in that cycle to be able to claim for, and that's how I found Hex.
Was it
the free
300,000 or 30,000, 300,000?
I can't remember if it was like 1.5% or if that was the previous record and Hex got up to 2%. But I always think to myself, okay, well, somebody who had the private keys to 2% of the Bitcoin felt comfortable enough with Hex to be signing that and reclaiming. And so whether that was Richard's Bitcoin or somebody else's Bitcoin, and remember that's back when Bitcoin was like $4,000, and Richard was on his way to calling all the tops and bottoms subsequently. So that makes me confident in this narrative of the wrapped BTC as well, because I think it's just such a cool narrative that we've already seen the PDI narrative work so well with people. I wouldn't be surprised if this does the same thing.
Quick info for everyone
Axis.
at home.
What's
Purple
happening?
Bitcoin friends. Richard owns like a third of the supply, rumored.
Yeah.
We don't know. Okay, every time I say this, he owns like 40,000 out of like 150,000. So he's got like a third of the supply. So that's one big bonus. Also, Johnny Chaos. Okay, he hinted that if you want to know some inner workings of what Rich is actually worth, go back and check the Bitcoin blockchain around the Hex free claim. He goes, some big wallets moved some big amount of BTC because they knew the free claim was coming. I had no idea it was about 2% of supply. So we're thinking about a gargantuan size, but like, I don't want him to think like you guys to think, oh, this guy's just going to pump our bags. But just giving you an idea here, bro. He doesn't dump, you know, he's here for a trillion net worth plus. Okay. So it is rare. And we know that information. Keep it with yourself and go, oh, that dude's loaded. And it's your information here because that's your edge. It really is your edge because it builds your conviction over time. And you know, most DeFi projects, bro, you know why they fail, friends? Because they pump too hard. Because they pump too hard. The 6 founders, one of them's having a baby. One of them's like wife gets sick, unfortunately. And so like, they're like, oh, I'm going to cash out 4.5 million. I'm done for the next cycle. But with us, we have something unique. So we have Axis joining us now,
Axis.
sir. Where do you think the
happening,
price
man?
is going the next 3-4 weeks? Do you like PDI? Do you like the purple Bitcoin? What do you even think? Everyone's got an opinion, sir. I'd like to hear. Also, thank you for the emojis, sir. I've been spamming them everywhere, bro. The floating PDI. Oh, it's amazing. I want to hear your
I wish I
thoughts.
got paid royalties for those. Thank you though for the exposure, and thank you for all you do, man. And thank you, Maddie, too, for all you've been doing and getting in front of these political people. You're kicking ass and chewing bubble gum. So yeah, I was on earlier. I don't know if you guys caught that segment. I was on for like a half hour, and I spilled the beans on PDI and the Wrap BTC fork, and I just wanted to piggyback off of what you had just talked a little bit about with potentially Richard's 2822 wallet sitting on 32,000 Wrap Bitcoins, and like this is kind of like an eye into what are the most important P copies, right? If you want to pull up the screen here, I got the 2822 wallet loaded in here.
Yeah. Hang on one sec. I got somebody else was at the door. I'm getting the door. We got somebody else joining us here. Surprise! Do you guys know who it is?
It's Richard.
Super stream.
Oh, we'd crash the stream. Let me see if I can get him. Sir, do you have that on? I'm trying to get this. Well, we'll just leave that. That looks fine. All right. Say hi. Crispy Man.
What's
Welcome to the
I
party.
I heard there was a DGen jamboree somewhere, so here I am.
Yeah.
Thanks.
More of a circus, but yeah.
Access,
Hey,
I see
nice to
that.
meet you.
I'm bringing it. Let's bring that in.
Nice to meet you, man.
Okay.
I feel like our dad has just joined and he's like, okay, it's 3 a.m. Are you guys going to sleep tonight? Because Mr. Crispy
No,
Man's here. We
nobody's
love you,
sleeping.
bro. We love what you're yes.
Nobody's sleeping.
So like part of this whole concept of like Wrap Bitcoin flipping regular Bitcoin, it really hinges off of the original farm that came out. And I always say, like, Richard Hart challenged what value actually is, and the fact that you can redeem any amount of real Bitcoin for any amount of forked, copied, zero value Bitcoin that started to accrue value is an amazing accomplishment in and of itself. And it was actually kind of like it changed my worldview on what was possible, and that was part of the inspiration for the creation of the Axis token and what might be possible. Is like, well, if you're telling me that you can copy something that has no backing value, this is you're taking Bitcoin, you're freezing it in time on the Bitcoin blockchain, you're issuing a fake copy that's backed by the frozen collateral on Bitcoin on Ethereum called Wrap Bitcoin, and then you're forking that network in half, and then you're making a third layer derivative on that called Wrap Bitcoin on Vaultchain, and that's going to have value and is convertible for any amount of the real Bitcoin. You've basically printed money out of thin air, and so I found that just to be so fascinating. And so what part of this really boils down to in cryptocurrency is supply and demand. And with the Wrap Bitcoin supply that got forked in, and assuming the contract isn't going to work or mint anymore in the future as it is, Well, there's only about 140 some odd thousand Bitcoins, and this wallet there's 32,000. So, and that's just what we can verify on this wallet, which connects back to the OA. And I mean, if you dig through it, so that's really a small amount of Bitcoin. So that really, to me, sets up nicely for this Bitcoin price, like doing way beyond whatever Bitcoin peaks at this cycle. And I know it's possible because, you know, when you start projecting out what the Axis token price could do if Pulse does a 10x, 100x, 1000x, I mean, you're talking multi-million dollars per Axis token, you know, assuming the holders remain constant or demand increases, right? And it's just, this chain is the people's chain. It's the one-to-one chain. It's the 10,000x chain. It's going to change fundamentally how humans' relationship is with their government and with each other and with their money. And I think it's just an exciting experiment to be part of. So these are some of the P copies that he's held on to for one reason or another. And if you're interested in this, go dig into this address. It's floating around out there on the web.
Let's throw it in the chat.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that'd be great.
There's even a private chat. You can send it over or just put it in right now, whatever.
Sure. And then this
We got a question as well from Jakey. What's the supply of purple Bitcoin? It's about 150,000, sir. So that's the advantage. It's not 21 million like BlackRock BTC. It's only 150,000. And rumored Richard Hart has 40,000 of it. So he's got a third of the supply. So you can only speculate. You think, maybe he's got a plan. He's going to enjoy some peggings. Maybe he's going to enable that as collateral vault access. So he can even put his in and then mint even more PDI. All of it, we're just guessing. You don't need to know all of these, but the supply is very low. And I'm telling you now, my friends, 4 years ago, I was in Richard's backyard. He asked me about Doge. Elon Musk had not tweeted yet, okay? He said, can Doge go to $1? I'm like, look, man, I thought Bitcoin's going to 200, Ethereum's going up. Touch the DeFi stuff. Big mistake. We literally had Dogcoin mania right after that point. What's he asking me now? Him and Dylan. Can Peter go to $1? And I want to own this purple Bitcoin. I'm not joking. Okay, it's December as well. It was December 2020. Now we're in December 2024. It was in the first half of December. It's the exact same thing. It's just, and all of these things are coming, friends. And it's not just like when you hear Axis and Maddie and everyone speak about it, like, you know, you don't understand all of it. You know what I mean? I get lost in the weeds too, but you know something's going on. You know, the megaphone's just going to get louder and louder. Like if PDI goes up to, if PDI, Pulse, PulseX, Hex, as they go up, all those people who were wrong, they have to come back in. We're waiting for Ivan, okay? As soon as Pulse flips Sol in the weekly super trend, he's coming back in. Imagine he goes, guys, I pressed the button. I'm now back into Pulse chain. I listened to Somi. Imagine he just says that, bro. He's got 500,000 people. They all got a pie and stuff. And they're like, oh, he bought back into Richard Hart's coin. And then the on-flow effect starts happening. So let's check out some charts.
Yeah, so this awesome. I love it. And this is that Wrap Bitcoin chart. And like, dude, here we were, you know, back in the boardroom. We were trading this chart back in here, calling for 5X's and stuff, and then, you know, selling it. And it's like, why didn't we just hold it? Like, why couldn't we recognize then that the P copy thing wasn't a bunch of bullshit? Like, Richard never talks for no reason. His words are always deliberate, and I had to learn that lesson the hard way a few times in this cycle already with these P copies. And I made this comment earlier, and I'll say it again for those that showed up late. How amazing is it as PDI and Rapidcoin and these other P copies start to gain value and potentially peg or go beyond, and all these guys are going to the centralized exchanges and they're banging down the front door and they're like, give me my copies. Like, I know you guys have my copies. Like, and what does the centralized exchanges have to do? Like, they're basically they're forced to have to list Pulse Chain, which means they have to go capture some of the supply of the core tickers too, to be able to service their users. It's a backdoor trap, right? Richard is winning by creating and I shouldn't just say it's just him. It's probably a cohort of very high level OG crypto people that
100%,
you know, mingle, whale pod if you will, that are working together to basically reverse rug pull the entire financial system. It's really that big of an idea. And the Maria Rahel character, he goes on to say that they've tried to do this on BNB one time and it failed. So I don't know. I just think it's a fascinating experiment. Happy to, I'm so bullish, and I think This will be my plug, is like, I think ultimately a lot of this value ends up in Hex because it's the one thing that ties us all together, which is our time.
Yeah.
And it fixes the inflation problem, right? Hex fixes the inflation problem with the first ever chart of future market supply. Like it or hate staking, it is going to be a solution for the inflation problem if and when it is mass adopted. You won't have a choice but to maybe hedge with some sort of a staking commitment, or just play the volatility in the early years and make mad gains. That's a good thing too.
100%.
And so this was that you guys were talking a little bit earlier about the Wrap Bitcoin versus PDAI chart, and this, and then there was just that one wallet with like 4,500 Wrap BTC that started nuking his stack in 800K chunks. And long story short, it pushed it back down out of this upper range. So if you take this away, it was unsuccessful in reclaiming like a higher range. But look at it's on an uptrend. So Wrap Bitcoin is actually historically above the midline of this channel. But if it captures support here, maybe it busts out the top side of this channel and goes and reclaims and really gains against PDAI here at some point.
Yeah, that ratio, I looked at that ratio a lot. It is interesting. There's another one that's also very interesting. It's P-Hex and PDAI, and they are approximating around 1. So that ratio we're looking at right now on the screen and the P-Hex to PDAI, they're doing this like weird oscillation thing. And I say weird as in, I don't have all the evidence, but I'm like, it just, if you put my golden deagle to my head, I'm like, I feel like a big duck, Richard Hart, is in the background, and then as time goes on, when people prove themselves that they want to hold, he adds a bit of liquidity, okay? And then we go a bit more time, we get a bit more higher, Jeet's out, he adds a bit more. It feels like something like that is naturally, organically happening over time. It's kind of like he rewards the market. Hey, thanks for not cheating, on to the next level, So you're watching all these, you don't need to get... don't let yourself get confused with any of these things, friends. You should look at it more like, oh, there's something happening here, and there's mind share accumulating. Because sometimes with these ratios, a lot of people that find it hard to like say, oh, am I winning? Am I losing? Or what's happening here? Just know that, hey, no one knows what's going on. Just assume that. And there's energy and activity. That's all you need. That's literally all you need. You go back 4 years ago, ask Matty guys. No one knew what a proper T-share was. Like, hey, why is it should we stake? How exactly do these things work? What does the origin address actually do? So no one knew. If you go back and you're like, hey man, I need a full essay, you totally missed it. But if you just go, I want to say go all in, but you're just like, you know what? I'm just throwing it in anyway. That's early Bitcoin, by the way. It's like, so once you see all these friends, you have a different appreciation for like the activity going on here. So you can continue, sir.
Yeah.
Well,
so this is the energy you're talking about. It's coming in the volume here, and this is that chart. It's the PDAI to PHEX ratio, and it's so that you can see that there is a definite battle going on, where the hexagons, hex staker class, they don't want to lose. They don't want PDAI to flip its price. Clearly, there's an attempt here to support it at that level. Now, does that mean that inevitably here this is going to break down and PDAI is going to take the lead for a while and carry the ship? It is less liquid, so it means it's easier to pump. Hex has got $40 million of total value locked against Pulse on that V1 pool. That means there's 20 million on the bid, 20 million on the ask. This one's only got like 3 million on the bid, 3 million on the ask against Pulse. So this could be the driver, right? This could drive the chain higher, and you see it because when people bridge into the chain, like that guy bridged in 1.4 million and aped into PDAI the other day, the whole chain lifted up and went green. And when the FUD came around and PDAI sold off, the whole chain went red. And so PDAI is kind of like the wind of change, right? And so there's definitely an interesting component here where this is like the gas pedal right now for the chain, and it goes deeper. Where you can talking about some of these other tokens like Atropa and Teddy Bear and Wrap BTC that are starting to break out against PLS, and that they're highly connected with PDAI. And if they're going to break out, they can be like the three legs of the tripod surrounding it that can help stabilize PDAI as it makes its ascent to higher and higher prices as they each kind of pop off They're very much correlated with each other. So, you know, watching these liquidity dynamics with Crispy over the last few months it's been very, very interesting.
Thank you so much, friends. I'm sorry, I have to get going, friends. I've seen Slothy has just joined in. My Hedron Icosa believer as well, sirs. I love and appreciate every single one of yous. I know, friends, trust me, like, I don't like the things are gonna get better. I hate that guy. I'm like, I'm looking around. Everything that was meant to happen in the universe to indicate next year's gonna be the biggest year of your life, it's happened. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of it's happened.
100%.
Everything's happened. I've told you all of it's happened. So I love and appreciate every single one of you, friends. Like and subscribe to Mr. Saint Wolf. We love all your streams, bro. So we'll catch you soon, friends. Take
Wonderful seeing you.
Take
Bye,
care,
bro.
Appreciate you.
See you, Sammy.
Wolf, I'm gonna go too, bro. Like, for how
Pedro,
long have you been here, bro?
We've been how long, dude? Look,
Oof.
we started. We're going on 5
11.
hours. We're going on 5 hours.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Awesome stream, man.
I'll stay a
Keep
little
going,
longer.
Keep going.
We'll get some space.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Cheers.
got to do my stream. I delayed
Okay,
it for like
okay.
2 hours because
I was over there waiting for you, man.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is
I'll
Rock.
join you shortly, too,
Season
Matt.
new
Thanks for
hangout.
inviting. Thanks for inviting me.
You got Matt. It was a pleasure having you, and Pedro too. Good night, gentlemen.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
Peace out.
Take care.
Thank you. Man, I was taking screenshots all night just to like, oh look, now there's Summit,
Oh.
now it's Crypto
Yeah,
Spot,
look-
now it's Maddie. Like it's like, the whole lineup. Pretty awesome.
It feels a lot like that 2021 bull market energy again.
And now Gary.
Welcome, Gary. Yeah, it's more gas.
Gary.
There is a spot open. I think Steven was out there. Come on in, buddy. How you doing, Gary? Good to see you.
How's it going? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You're good.
We can hear you.
Yeah. You guys hear me okay?
Yeah, you're
A
good.
little lag. I'm in Singapore, but just let me know if the sound goes bad.
Yeah, we're all over the world today.
I know.
How amazing.
Yeah, I've been missing out on like a lot of the content. I'm glad that Saint Wolf records these things. It's been the most interesting stuff to watch for the past several months for sure. It's been, you guys been doing this for like a year and a half since discovery of, again, it's kind of the things that have been, I would say, obvious because they've been inside the tweets for so long that Richard's put out there about like value and advertising outside of this existing community that all have hex logos and such. And it's very interesting again to see this resurgence of e-copies having value. Maybe initially that would have been like solicitation to the Pepe people and to the Wrap Bitcoin people and things like that, as far as like all the marketing is always done basically to the only people that had money. Every time he's made content as far as like smaller groups and stuff like that, it's been, where is the money? During a bear market, everybody's broke. So like during our bear market, it was a bear market across the board. And he would say things like, because I would say something like, let's approach this group or that group or whatever it would be. And he would say, they don't have any money. They don't have any money. And like all of the news is covering Bitcoin hitting 100,000. All of the Michael Saylor ratcheting up by selling MicroStrategy shares and things like that. That's getting positive and negative commentary from All In podcast, like Maddie recently met David Sachs. So like you see this content constantly, and it's the best advertising possible, the best timing possible for something like PDI, Wrap PTC parody. These narratives, whether they're true. I'm staying on the political. I want to be able to engage everybody without polarizing. So like my position specifically is I want to be able to open up conversations, open engagement. I don't want to be hedged off and stereotyped on this cycle. So like I'm very supportive of everything you guys are doing. It's awesome. It's really cool.
Cheers, man.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with just admitting outright that this is a speculative asset class, and this is like the best. And Ken Richard's the king of speculating. He's the king speculator. Like he knows how to make things juicy and interesting, and we're seeing it live. So I don't think you have to be take a side or an opinion on any of this. You can you can look at the data, and I'd love if Crispy could elaborate on that for us. You can look at the data and see that these peak copies are doing things that not just any cryptocurrency does.
Yeah. Hey, I think it's worth talking about what Sami said. You're just like re-emphasizing this, right? This is sunk liquidity. This liquidity is still there, right? It's not going anywhere. It doesn't matter whether I like it or don't like it. It's there, right? And so these pairs are set. And so unless somebody deconstructs this whole system, they're all going in the same direction. I mean, at different times perhaps, but yeah. And we can see that right in those liquidity webs.
Yeah, I can pull them up for you. We had it up earlier, and it's a pretty fascinating tool to see. I think we were counting, what was it, 290? No, was it 281 million, I think? Was it 181 million? I can't remember. PDI LP.
Yeah, and this is only part of the web, because there's the web that the rest of us don't see that's out there.
It's huge. It is all over the ecosystem.
People get this misconception that like, oh, that's not real backing value, but that's not the full picture with a lot of this stuff, especially at this point in the game now, where like the bridge is now filled up. So as this is loading in, let's pull up the bridge. You'll like this one, Funding Jim. You'll love this. There's actual positive momentum on inflows into the bridge. Stable coins and wrapped Ethereum. That's a nice rounded bottom. On also let me zoom it down.
Yeah, I was paying attention to Dune for a long time, and that's very interesting. The one that I just quickly check fairly for almost daily, really is the bridge that GoPulse shows, and part of that I was like, my cynicism was like, well, okay, the value of all these other things, Hex has changed, all these different things that are counted as bridged in, as far as DAI and all the stables. I did see that Bitcoin had gone down to like 24 as far as what was on that display. And
yeah, St. Wolf, can you pull Maddie over to the other side? And I can.
Yes.
This is just Bitcoin is there's no Bitcoin on the chain. There's like six Bitcoins on the chain.
There. And Ethereum used to be about 10,000. I think at least what GoPulse shows is like 9,300 or something like that, or 80 something hundred. So like I'm just curious, like when you consider bridging and what you're looking at as far as flow, are you putting it? What are you calling flow? This is my question.
So you can see the shape of this chart, yeah.
Yeah.
This is $20 million of Ethereum, and this is it's $80 million of stables. So it's 100 million of bridged in stables and Ethereum, US dollars.
And were you mapping the liquidity for Hex during its whole story? I know you've gone over this so much over the years.
Yeah. The Hex peaked at the 56 cent top with I think it was like $46 million, or between 46 and $52 million was the peak liquidity at the TVL at the peak at its highest point, and it didn't stay there very long.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Again, Maddie makes comments about it, and Richard's made plenty of comments about, what is the sweet spot of liquidity, and it always is moving. It's moving depending on narrative, on sentiment, on seasonality. There's all kinds of reasons that the liquidity can change. What's the mood of other people versus whales putting liquidity in there to trade into. So yeah, it's interesting to see this charting.
This is so the all-time high was between 175 and 180 million at the launch, and so we're 160. This is the highest I've seen in since the beginning, basically. And let's see, which one of these was it? This one? No, it was like the activity tab. I think shows us TVL. Oh, that ain't it.
And I think I've noticed. Again, sitting on Ethereum chain, your Hex, your eHex, if you haven't sold it out, if you sold it into thin liquidity, you said, hey, whatever, just moving your Hex across to Pulse chain and sitting in your own wallet on chain is helping the TVL. I've seen the numbers. Obviously, when eHex goes up to 6 cents or sixth of a penny or whatever, it helps the total TVL, it helps the advertising, and people get shocked when they see the total TVL of the Pulse Chain itself with some of those numbers.
Yeah, and there's a whole strategy behind that with, retail and Ethereum guys. They're going to buy when this stuff starts to pop off. They're going to buy Hex on Ethereum, which virtually lends that value to eHex on the Pulse chain for deployment into other things and to increase that TVL. And so here I'll add the Hex to the chart, and you can see how much that increases, our total TVL. It puts us over 150 million.
Yeah, I got to catch up on it. One of the things you guys talked about when Sami was on, and before Sami came on too, I was watching the start from the beginning when I saw you guys were streaming for like 15 minutes or 20 minutes and just kind of skipping around in the content you've already created. But I definitely need to go through the whole 4 or 5 hours you guys have been doing that.
Hey, if you want to call me and I'll get you up to speed. I know you've been busy, so that's fine. Yeah. We can. There's a lot to talk about and a lot going on this chain right now. It's peak excitement right now. So
yeah, I definitely want to. I see people that are doing different stuff, and that's all. It's all good and supportive of what other people are doing on chain. Like, I met with Steph, which is doing his stuff on Ethereum. All the people at TitanX and stuff like that, and what they've been building out. Been just kind of paying attention to that in general. But I'm trying to, just like always, trying to be outside of the political and trying. If you're talking to me, if you're talking outside. And through blockchain, we're talking outside. Like the activity on this chain is being talked about outside of this chain, right? That's like the best advertisement you can ever have is green candles. It is the activity that can be seen when they go to things like DeFi alignment, when they go and do that sudden check and say, holy fuck, there's $1 billion over here or whatever, right? So it's really important. Like that, too. Yeah, everything gets built out. And so like even the position of having a six-sided geometric figure as your identity, I don't think that has to be the case. I've been accumulating, six-sided figure stuff for a long time, and it's really good to see it branching out. And again, that's a controversial statement for many because everybody wants to be some kind of maximalist or whatever. But like, it's the best advertising possible that PDI, WrapPTC, all these things, if these assets that we're more familiar with become in some way collateral for your own personal vault, and that narrative is supported through numbers. I can see all kinds of reasons that people that are more risk averse in the crypto space, a lot of them only buy Bitcoin because they've heard about it for so long and all their friends have it already, and just to have it almost as like part of the club, they're buying millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin at 100 grand. And they're doing it just to be part of the club. That's all they're doing. They're not even really looking. They're not even like how we are about like, oh, let's make a 10x or a 20x or 100x. They don't even think that. They just think they're just part of that opening of the door to be in crypto, because it's cool again or whatever. But like, it's very important that I really do think that if Richard is behind all of this stuff, which everything seems to be pointing toward, as far as like on-chain transactions and things like that. Again, could be absolutely wrong. I'm hedging with my statements, but if it's the best possible advertising, everybody has heard of Hex inside of crypto. The idea that you're going to get on a mainstream, whether it's a YouTuber or a crypto thing, everybody has heard of Hex. Nobody has heard of this narrative. This is a new narrative, and it's very exciting.
Yeah. Hey, Gary, obviously we know that Hex is not a company, and we know that Pulse Chain isn't a company. However, this is akin to customer acquisition cost, right? Mm-hmm. And so we're basically hanging this value out there. Our chain is hanging this value out there. It's not spent just waiting for somebody to come in and actually take advantage of that and get 100% onboarding with them into our ecosystem. So it's pretty brilliant, in so many different ways. And I know it feels scary because prices could go up, they could go down really fast if we see big dumpers. But we have such a strong chain. I mean, even if somebody came in and did that, it's going to get sucked up. Whatever
we got dumped on for 3 years, Chris.
Yeah, I know. No, I've been here.
Like you're not going to dump us out and make us walk away. Like we're not doing that. We're not going to give up.
Yeah. We've been through hell. We're not leaving now.
KG, what's happening? Welcome to the party.
Hey everybody, testing. Can you hear me?
Man, that beard's
Can hear
looking
ya.
great. It's
Yeah,
are they doing
thanks.
Game of Thrones again or whatever? Is this what's going on?
Project Beard.
Well, first of all, apologies for the low quality setup. Fast Abdul just hit me up with an invite, and I'm actually in the car. Just got a couple scoops of ice cream, enjoying this winter night.
Great, man.
Good to see everybody.
Welcome to the party.
His first appearance.
Yeah, we broke the cherry tonight. Yeah.
Congrats, everybody.
Hey, I
Good
see. I see Benny Blanco in the chat talking about Hex a lot, which is very important. And I think that is a key point. I would just say this: is that all these things are going on, but at least in my viewpoint, it's all to the benefit of the core, and in particular, the store of value, which will be Hex.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I said that a couple times tonight, and look, even if it comes to like EHEX, like look, EHEX is storing value against Pulse for 252 days. It's up 4x. You could have 4x your Pulse stack by sitting in EHEX off the lows from the FUD tweet.
Oh no, man. Yeah.
And there were many of us who did capture that supply because some of you guys have lettuce hands and don't believe. And I don't know. I still like PHEX too. Look, this is holding, trying to flip support on the 1618. Next target is 2618 around 525. That's a 50% gain in price. And so it's like, is PDI going to go first, and then Hex is going to go up, and then can surpass it, and they're going to ladder each other up to 10 to 12 cents? I don't know, but it's going to be exciting. This is a bullish, super bullish structure here.
Is this PDI Hex?
This is just Hex against Pulse. I'm going to go to the dollar chart so it makes more sense for people. Here. So this is Hex on the weekly chart. And I thought maybe we could consolidate here a little bit on the dollar. But the red candle in the dollar chart of Hex is coming from weakness on Pulse, not from necessarily weakness in Hex, because Hex is sustaining and gaining on Pulse. As soon as Pulse breaks out of this consolidation structure and heads to saturate 32% higher, Hex completely reverses this red candle and goes probably, I would say, 3.5 to 4 cents pretty rapidly.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good.
Blue Ocean.
Hey, KT, how's your time token doing versus Pulse?
Well, let's let Access the Chart Master pull it up.
I might have a chart for
Pretty
that.
dang good. The interesting thing about Time is we are one of the, if not the oldest native asset to launch on Pulse Chain. We went live with Time on Pulse Chain 10 days after Pulse Chain launched. So you actually get basically a really complete chart history of the entire Pulse Chain when looking at the Time chart.
It's a giant pennant. It's a bull pennant. So I mean, if you just measure the move from the base to the peak, you could draw it out depending on where it breaks, but 2.3x is in the cards when this finally happens. And now there's rumors going around, I don't know how public they are yet, rumors that there's going to be things launching that may or may not increase dividend rewards for Time holders, which could impact the price, as well as any increases in Pulse price, which is the rewards token, could make this asset more valuable from a perspective of revenue that it can generate, right? So I think this one's like playing possum, actually, until the right moment where Pulse kind of pops off, and maybe there's some announcement to be made.
Well, if you're going to lay me up like that, I'll come in with the alley-oop, I suppose. So for just a quick TLDR for those who don't know what Time is, the Internet Money Wallet on Android, iOS, and Chrome has an in-app swap feature. On Pulse Chain specifically, it is the best place to swap because it aggregates more liquidity than anywhere else on Pulse Chain. 14 individual DEXs plus Bateus get aggregated in every time you swap within the Internet Money Wallet. There is a small fee that is charged on that swap. It's actually very competitive with the rest of the in-app swap market. The difference is 100% of that fee gets distributed to time holders. So if you're holding time on Pulse Chain, you're earning PLS. You don't have to stake your time. You don't have to lock your time up. Simply by holding time, you earn PLS as the Internet Money Wallet does more in-app swap volume, period. Even if it's not swapping time, swapping any asset. What Axis is referring to as the new feature, I will drop a little Easter egg, is we're bringing the ability to access that swap feature outside of the wallet. So you will not have to be an Internet Money Wallet user to access all that liquidity in your swaps. And yes, time holders will get paid as a result of that.
And I think the key component here that's important for people to understand is that you can go there to the app on the website and just get quotes. So if you want to go see where time swap interface is it's gonna go check everywhere on the Pulse Chain, and it's gonna give you quotes. And then if you see it, and then if you want to go compare yourself, you can. But it's gonna check everything for you. And now if you're a MetaMask user or a Rabby user, or you're not using, or don't have your Internet Money Wallet on you, you can just go there and with any wallet and get a quote, which I think is pretty cool.
I think a big thing is for this stream in particular, we're talking about PDAI and stuff, right? Like the copied stables and just other copies on Pulse Chain. The Internet Money Wallet has access to several DEXs that do not have a front end, that have not, I'm not saying there's big pools of PDAI sitting there, but there's lots of P copies of various things, where for most users who aren't a super user, who can run up their own front end, this may be the only way you could access DEXs like PancakeSwap, like Shiba Swap, where there could be untold riches in P copies that have not been discovered yet.
Yeah,
I think it's
100%.
worth checking out.
I think there's definitely undiscovered gems laying around. We got to hunt. There's some surprises left, I think.
Yep.
You know, Fast Abdul, that is an incredible point, because yes, out of the 15 places you can swap within the Internet Money Wallet or outside of the wallet in the near future, 5 of those are forked DEXs from when Pulse Chain launched. So you have forked Uniswap V2 and V3, forked PancakeSwap, forked Shiba Swap, and forked Sushi Swap. Now that this whole, paradigm shift of actually focusing on the forked tokens is really happening, imagine when you swap something like P wrapped ETH to P wrapped DAI. There is actually liquidity on these forked DEXs because those pools got copied over. So when you're swapping around in P stables within the internet, or not, sorry, I said P stable, P assets, period, within the Internet Money Wallet, you're getting access to liquidity and oftentimes better trades than are physically accessible anywhere else.
Yeah, I'll add that Uniswap is humming, man. On Pulse Chain, it is humming. The volume going through that is amazing. There are people using it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Pidius doesn't route through there right now. Through most of the things that you're talking about, like the copied Uniswap, PancakeSwap, Shiba Swap, any of that stuff, Pidius doesn't touch it as of yet. So this is the only place I know of.
Only place I know of as well. And like what Axis said as well is you can use the wallet and soon outside of the wallet to actually go and simultaneously search all these places. So even if you didn't want to do the swap there, you can still look at all the markets. And, Axis being the liquidity expert that he is, that all these markets are constantly moving. And so if you go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can't even really go to all 15, but even if you try to go to each one and get a quote, by the time you went back to the first one, the quote would have changed. So you take a market snapshot, basically, and what's really cool about that is because we're in deep now, right? It's easy for people who just want it to be easy, and you can stop right there. For guys that want to go deep, you actually get these human arbitrage opportunities, where because you're searching everywhere at once, there is a significant amount of times where you actually end up with a positive slippage scenario because you're searching all the pools at the same time. And because the market's moving and prices are changing, you get that human arbitrage moment.
Hey, for this pause, I'm going to take this opportunity to say goodnight. Hey, thanks for letting me come in for a couple minutes, and we'll clear up the screen so you guys can see. All right.
Pleasure having you
See
over, Chris, man.
See you later, guys. Yeah.
In a bit.
Hey,
Anytime, come back.
And Funding Jim, be careful out there. Have fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop off too, guys. It was a pleasure to be up here. Hopefully I can catch you on another stream. Good to see everybody. KG, Funding Jim, Fast Abdul, Axis, Maddie. Pleasure. I'll see you guys
Back
all around.
anytime. Have a good night.
See you later, Southman.
It was cool to see. I went with. I brought Sam Arms. Samuel Arms is a lobbyist out of Florida. He was helping a lot with Gary Cardone's launch of his Bitcoin content and things like that for the past year or two. But he's written, a lot of. He works really closely with DeSantis in Florida, and I saw that this week they were both in. My other friend Josh was in Abu Dhabi, I guess at the event with Eric Trump and such. That was really cool to see. It's good to see people like, Maddie just went to the All In, was it the All In Pod Christmas party or what was that event?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, these are people that, again, in very crowded environments, it's difficult to get a message through or make some kind of meaningful information transfer. But this is like networking opportunities, and it's really good to see that people are out there doing that too. David. I mentioned that because also Roger Ver just went on Tucker Carlson yesterday, and I saw that Maddie had retweeted about the support Roger Ver petition, and I was just again. Conspiracy theory or whatever, but on the wall in the background is hexagons on Roger Ver's stream with Tucker today.
Yeah, he had 2 of them.
Yeah,
Very nice.
thought that was awesome. 2 of them exactly.
X Maxi confirmed.
There was a P and an E copy of the hexagon.
Yeah,
That was awesome. But yeah, if you can support or promote people to support Roger's campaign, it's gonna be important.
Yeah. People can go to freerogernow.org, which the silver he rebranded to Silver Sailor, but our Hexagon who communicates with Roger other than Funding Jim and everything was advocating for hundreds of people to sign the petition the other day, so that was really cool. And yeah, it's really cool to see Roger getting the word out, because I do really think he needs a presidential pardon. He needs somebody to come in and make that right. And so it really makes a difference for everybody to go, that's how the whole Free Ross thing happened, is because individual people took action. So everybody I did it myself, going to freerogernow.org is where you can sign the current petition. And yeah, when I went to the All In Christmas party, there were about 1,000 people there. So I thought it was very unlikely, myself not having paid for a VIP ticket, it was very unlikely for me to even get a chance to introduce myself to the new crypto czar, who had just been announced, David Sachs, who's one of the 4 members of the podcast. And of course, he I've always dreamed of bumping into Elon, onboarding him into Pulse Chain. But in some ways, David Sachs has become maybe even a more important person than the richest man in the world. I don't know. We could have a long debate about that. But David Sachs is the person who now is going to be in charge of shaping America's crypto policy, as Trump, not only rights the wrongs that have been created so far by the SEC, but he wants to make America #1 in crypto. And so I did get a chance, out of basically a miracle. I talked to enough of the security guards, and they appreciated me communicating with them, but I was just all right, how am I going to bump into him and basically I figured out that like there's like one area that he would have to pass through. So I like just staked out that area, and like the second I went there, he was leaving the building, and so I was able to like give him my business card and make an introduction that I'm sure he'll remember. But I also have connections from when I brought the Hex DeLorean to their Back to the Future after party that they had like 3 months ago. I'm friends with their CEO, and so I had asked the CEO during this most recent event, like, will you make a warm introduction to Sax for me now that I've introduced myself to him, and now that I'm a good guy, and so he agreed to do that. So hopefully I can warm that connection up even more, and anything that we can do to get America behind this idea. Basically I think the talking points need to be chain agnostic. If America wants to be the number one in the world for crypto, then we need the most users. And so, we're going to have an onboarding strategy, whether it's like mailing everybody a social security card, like, except it has a private key on it. Like that, there might be some different strategies that need to be developed there. So yeah, I'm really excited to see where that goes.
Thank you for your service, sir.
It's really exciting. Like the whole season,
Nice work.
again, euphoria of 2025. Between Trump, the sons that are very active and involved in cryptocurrency directly, all three of the sons apparently. The messaging in general. I don't know if it's all about freedom as far as it's always about price. The first thing that gets on a TV show is going to be what the price of something is. So I expect that sort of thing may happen in 2025, just as far as price movements. And I had invited, so I'd met Roger along with other Hexagons, Silver the Antidote, Danny the singer, who else was there. But basically, we had met him in Kuala Lumpur, and then he did that interview with me. And then when the Trump NFTs were going to be launched again, B-Root had said something about it like the year before. I thought it'd be a good photo op and potential conversation or something like that. So I knew that event was coming up, and then I reached out to Roger to invite him to the Trump dinner, and to be my guest. And he had said that he would love to go. That'd be great, but he had donated $1,000, I think, to like a local councilman or something like that, like through some website, but he had donated to some councilman that's very libertarian. And then he got highlighted or something like that as a foreign influence, a foreign financial influence on an election. So he's like, I can't really, I don't want to really take the chance of going to Mar-a-Lago with you just because I donated $1,000, and they want to get him on just about anything is basically what he was saying. So he appreciated the invitation, and then he had said, he was supportive of, basically he pays attention to some of our content. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, I have always been so impressed funding Jim with like your networking skills. So I'm trying to follow in your footsteps here, and yeah, it's been really enjoyable to to try to get the word out.
It's healthy for the psychology. Like, it's good to have reinforcement from the people that are already supportive of you or an individual inside this community. There's plenty of trolls, of course, but it's great to be around people that are supportive. But being out there and tilling the soil and finding those new pockets of support is really mentally refreshing, I have to say. So people should do it more.
For sure. Well, I think I'm gonna go real quick and just do I have to keep my streak. I've been going for 211 weeks, going live every Tuesday, but I postponed it because I was enjoying so much being on here with you guys. But I think I'm just gonna knock that out here real quick. So
Awesome.
Don't mind me. But thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man, it's a pleasure having you. Thanks for joining us.
Peace.
Night, Maddie.
Maddie.
Fast Abdul, how are you doing?
I'm holding in there. It's been 5 hours, and
Chat,
I was
we just
actually
passed-
supposed to join Maddie on his stream like an hour and a half ago. So I think I'll probably do that right after this.
Chat, make some noise.
but-
We just passed 5 hours.
Dedicated.
5 hours. This is epic.
It was pretty sweet though. Like there's a lot of eyeballs on the stream. Like the reader there says 1,099. We've had like just about every epic character on the Pulse chain show up either in the chat or on the screen. This is
Yeah.
a super stream to remember. It's almost like it's a conference or something.
Somebody said it was like the X-Men. Somebody was making a comment. It's great.
It does have a little bit of that
Marvel.
nostalgia feel of like, and again, I don't know that St. Wolf wants to be considered P-Die Maxi or anything like that, but it definitely feels
Been there
like
since the
origin
beginning.
content. Feels like origin content of like the whole thread of narrative. It's very interesting.
It's cool.
That being
Pulse
said,
Chain's
guys,
really-
I'm going to sign off. I'm going to go join Maddie on his stream for 20 minutes or however long we're still awake to keep his his streak running, and we'll talk to you guys soon. It's a pleasure to see you all.
Oh, it's a pleasure having you, Fast Abdul.
Thanks for the invite, Abdul. Good to see you.
Take care, guys. Bye bye.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow Abdul as well. I've been in the car on this one, so Wolf, it was actually great to talk to you for the first time.
Yeah,
Thanks
it
for
was
letting
nice
me jump
meeting you.
on. Gary,
Pleasure meeting
Axis, Legends alike. Good to see you both. For those watching, Internet Money Wallet. If you want the best transacting experience on Pulse Chain or any EVM chain, best place to swap. No data collection. Talk soon.
Yeah, brother.
So Benny's got some cool points here about like people not being able to figure out how to get into Pulse Chain and stuff, and it's true. Like I have one of my members is in the Luke Belmar group, and it's not that they don't want to come; they just don't know how. They don't know how to bridge in. They don't know how to use DeFi. They're so used to the centralized exchange, process. It's like a foreign language, and so. But I think Green Candles kind of have an impact and are going to make people learn really fast. The Green Candles typically make people fast learners. So
it's the ultimate incentive. Yeah, it makes people get smart very fast. A lot of more narratives I think are going to pop up. I think P-Die was just one of the first ones, but we also have to expect that the Heartman probably has more things up his sleeve once the case falls apart, and we can expect a tremendous amount of surprises that are gonna speed the adoption into Pulse Chain. Demand is just going to go up dramatically, very fast, very fast.
Yeah. I mean, we already kind of explained like the trapdoor centralized exchange thing that could happen at any point. As soon as the lawsuit's over, they may just list us one after the other. I don't know.
100%. 100%.
Things are, you hear things, right? So, in terms of like onboarding complete noobs into crypto, yeah, I mean, like the best thing you can do, honestly, is just get them, like let them use MoonPay or whatever, get a little bit of Ethereum through MoonPay, so it's fast. They're in a MetaMask wallet. They do their first like long-term hex stake, and then once they have that, and they're watching their wallet on GoPulse, they have a story to track now. Like it's just like we need to re-engineer, reimagine the magic of the staker app from the first 2 years of Hex. That was competing for spots and playing the game and trying to out stake each other and watching the mad gains. Like that was part of the magic, and I think Hex is like the landing point for a lot of this. Although I do agree with Maddie that we're heading into a multi-chain world, and there's a bunch of us that have graduated way beyond just that one single strategy. And so for us, like the world is our oyster. We're on the people's chain, and the future is really bright. So I'm excited to be here.
Really bright, so bright. You got to wear shades. Gary, I got a question since you're here. You obviously Pulse Wrap Bitcoin. I think Axis, you were here earlier when we discussed it. I mean, I think parity is in the cards, and it's absolutely faded. Do you think it could go much higher than parity, and how high past parity could Purple Bitcoin go? The people's Bitcoin.
It's the best marketing possible. Best marketing possible is parity. Just the noise that would come from that. Again, it would be spoofed by ones that hold their own. Well, again, why would it be spoofed? So a Bitcoin absolutist and a Bitcoin maximalist at the time of fork, would they be wrapped? I don't know. Like, do they play in DeFi? All the cyber hornets of 2000, 18 that I remember, and 2020, and all these narratives of the new bull market. So the only resistance to parity from sell pressure of non-believers would be people that held wrapped Bitcoin at the time of the fork, right? That supply, it's 140,000 or something like that exists. What's the number?
That's right.
About
And
150,000.
Richard's rumored to have.
Yeah.
Richard's
So
rumored
the
to have about 4,000.
people that had wrapped Bitcoin, and most likely the wrapped Bitcoin was on central exchanges, more likely than in a personal DeFi wallet, or maybe in liquidity pools that got replaced by the bot or whatever. So like it's very interesting about the concentration, and if that narrative does not get thwarted by just sheer hate of Richard, I think it's great advertising. So there's a problem I remember in 2017 and 18 about like, we want to get, in general, everybody wanted to get listed on a central exchange. And then because it was popular in bull season, you would see prices of like 2 million cash plus a significant amount of supply of a token in order to get listed. Like that's giving the supply of your new idea in your community's, treasury, so to speak, to a central exchange that they can choose to, okay, we will use it for market making, we'll use it for, we'll collect fees for a while, but always it's potential sell pressure just in a dump by the central exchange itself. And it's interesting that wrapped Bitcoin, P-wrapped Bitcoin exists. As far as I understand it, even if it's on the exchange, it's not. It's in individual addresses, Ethereum addresses or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Individual customers. It's not like pooled in one spot. Like if you accidentally sent PDAI to without going through the bridge directly to your exchange or something, it's lost. It's on your account, but it's not accessible by that central exchange. So I don't really know where the sell comes from versus saying, look, we're going to support it because it is effectively free supply to the exchange, but the customers are the only ones that can trade it for other things that are also on the exchange. So I like it as a marketing ploy, and to actually engage central exchange for more direct fiat on and off ramp utilization. So there's a lot of reasons that I think that wrapped Bitcoin should be supported by both people that are, like if I talk to Gary Cardone about Bitcoin, like he's running a space right now, he's mostly going to talk about, the platforms that he holds his Bitcoin on, that if he wants to do a leverage position or something like that, he can call. He's big enough of an account and big, more socially connected to say, hey, I need to be able to cover my short or whatever it is he does with his trading. He's not really a DeFi guy. He doesn't even really keep a lot of his on his own possession. But like there's a whole narrative around why that guy would still support, and his brother would still support the P-wrapped Bitcoin
100%.
Parity narrative.
I think they just want to see, like everyone at that level, big money, they want to see a track record of green. And once you establish that, and the recovery of Hex is going to be a big part of that, for them to see this is, in essence, it's his first startup, right? Hex is the first startup. And that goes green, it's going to speak volumes. And a lot of big players are going to turn their attention to see, okay, he made that work. It's it's above where it needs to be. That's going to do a lot.
Yeah, Ivan on tech says that exactly. Like once we're crossing Sacred and getting ready to test that local high from last March, he's in, right? So
he's in.
One of many. Yeah.
And for a lot of other people, I think Hex needs to go above, past its all-time high once again as well. I think that's a reality.
That's the thing, is this vaulting narrative about the asset types that can be vaulted. It doesn't alienate Hex. If Hex people don't like PDAI, they don't like the idea that buying pressure is being stolen away from the Hex P-Hex version or something like that. They don't like that. Just shut up. Just don't say anything. Let the market play out as it's going to play, because it's not like the people that could buy P-Hex don't know that P-Hex exists. It's not like the people that, what I'm saying? If they think, oh, it's the new visitors, the retail, they're going to get here in 2025 and they're just going to buy all my bags, and that I've been talking horrible about for a long time, and now they're going to come buy my bags. I don't, the people that already know about it. But if it can be vault asset and it can feed this narrative climb to actually, and Richard's even said, many times about like he's been highlighting recently the 1-to-1-to-1 kind of ratios. He's talking about ratios more than in his recent tweets or whatever, ratios. And he's said that in the past. He says if one thing is interchangeable for another thing, it's the same as it's good, basically. And so interchangeability is a good thing for these vault, these assets that potentially could go into the vault on the PDI narrative, on the lockup narrative. It's pretty cool.
Well, the PDI narrative's definitely stirring up crypto. Definitely making big waves out there. And I'm glad you both are here. We've gone over 5 hours tonight. Chat, I know some of you guys have been here.
He's like, everybody's fading down. I was like, oh, it's only 11 in the morning for me. But yeah, I've got what I've got now is I've got 5 hours worth of content that I need to watch at double speed.
Yeah. It is past 5 a.m. where I am right now, so this officially became my most after-hour stream for sure. We just started with some TA in the beginning, and it just kept evolving, and it was absolutely amazing having everybody. That's how a house party happens, right? Everyone starts coming over, more people come over, and then you got to do some more liquor runs. But why don't you guys lead us out? Axis, go ahead.
Yeah, man, it's really nice to have you in the community, and I think you've been streaming now for almost a year, right?
Almost a year, yeah, just about.
Yeah, and so I mean, it's been good. I've seen you grow already in just this short amount of time, and I'm excited to watch your career blossom going into this amazing bull run. And into you, Gary, thanks for coming back and being a supporter even when you wanted to murder half of us. I kid.
only half. It switches every so often. It's the other half sometimes.
Was it the good half or the bad half?
You have two kids, and like when one's not behaving, the other one is, and then they take turns. But anyways, I appreciate you guys.
I gotta thank you too. I'm glad you came on. I haven't talked to you in a while, and we did a stream together very early on when I started doing kind of conversations with people, and you said some really cool things to me that helped me build confidence and kind of like lunge forward, because it's just hard in the beginning to get going. So always appreciate that.
It's very nerve-wracking the first few times you're doing it. Like even for the first few times you're doing it, it's like getting that tempo and that flow and figuring out yourself out on camera and stuff. So
yeah.
Glad it helped out, man.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see you in Vegas in March. I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't know.
I can dream.
Yeah. But man,
I'd say they're going to go to the Dubai event in the end of March. I think it's March. It's Dubai's Token 2049. I'll go to that one.
I think you're going to see a lot more Pulse Chain guys traveling the world for events probably after next year or middle of next year.
100%.
So maybe not March, but you get through the summer, and I bet you they're going to be traveling all over the world again.
Yeah. Same thing. I'll do my sign out. I really appreciate Saint Hex, or not Saint Hex, Saint Wolf. Really great content, really chill. As far as a new streamer and things like that, some people come in with a lot of high energy, adrenaline pump or something like that.
Yeah.
But your tone, your tempo, the culture that you're setting with your channel is really awesome and really cool. So keep it up, man.
Oh, thank you. It was a pleasure having you, man. I'm glad you came by and knocked and came to the party.
All right.
I've been wanting to talk to you for a while, so. And chat, it's great to have you guys. I know some of you guys were here from the beginning, or if you did, you're just as crazy as we are. So, and we'll see you all again next time. Oh, Todd, what's up, man?
Oh yeah. Last thing I want to say is thank you to all of our supporters over the last 5 years. Hex is 5 years old. Without you guys coming and paying attention and being part of the community and lifting us up, we would have no one to stream to. So you guys are amazing. Hope to see you guys in the flesh at some of these events. And it's going to be a good, dare I say, 4-year bull market. I know some people would shoot me for that, but I think this is going to be the bull of all bulls, baby. We got robbed last cycle, but this time we got a lot of capital coming in, and we have global acceptance of this space. So here we go.
Yeah.
Strap in.
Strap in. 2025. All right, gentlemen. And chat. Good night, everybody.
See you guys.